go live to our custom stream, which will be just a tad bit earlier than 7. No big deal. And I cannot believe that we are on episode 140. That is incredible. Man, the time is going by so quickly. And it looks like we are going live. Are we live, guys? It looks like we are live. Absolutely wonderful. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we got Eric in the super chat waiting for us. Glad that you're here. If you are here and you're watching, please say hello in the super chat because we got the spinning wheel of winning things today. So you got to be present to win. So make sure you say hi to Will Fly in the super chat. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sean Simons, PPG Grandpa, and welcome to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast, clearproptv.com, and paratalk.org. We got a big panel here tonight, and let me go ahead and introduce everybody and say hi before we get to our guest, Kyle Mooney. We got our very own Linda Anderson, our pom-pom girl. What's up?
All right. What's up, guys?
Welcome to the show, Linda.
Got the pom-poms all warmed up.
That is
Got
awesome.
a lot of work to do tonight.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Linda. We definitely appreciate you. And thank you for booking up so many people. We got October booked up, November booked up. Remember, guys, if you want to be on the show, get up with Linda Anderson by going to ParamontUSA.com.
That's right.
Awesome. We also got Will Fly, and he has amazing videos. Make sure you check out his videos at willflyppg.com. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. Good. Just got back from Alabama. Had a nice little visit with Brian Waller. And yeah, good. Always good to be back.
I'm so jealous. I was supposed to go there, but I just couldn't.
It was awesome.
I know. Just drill it in that heart a little bit more. So you're going to be taking care of everybody in the spinning wheel of winning things tonight.
I'm going to do my best. Good luck, guys.
Awesome. So you guys make sure you say hi to Will Fly, and he'll put you in the spinning wheel of winning things. Thank you very much, Will, for being in the super chat and in the panel. Appreciate you.
Good to be here.
We also got Jim from Canada, the only guy I know that sniffed his money and goes, smells like maple syrup. What's up, buddy?
It's a money sniffer.
You're a money sniffer. I know you are, bud.
It's better than sniffing other things, I guess.
I guess so. Well, you are our official sponsor, and you make decals, which are decals, and stickers, and all sorts of fun stuff. Tell us a bit about your company since you are our official sponsor.
Sounds good. We're a custom printing company, so we can print whatever you want. We can, you name it, we print it. And we have graphic designers on staff who can help you design things, whatever you need. So just connect with us, carepp.com, and we'll help you out.
So if I want to have like my very own paramotor calendar, I can take 12 awesome pictures of me flying, send them to you, and you can make a calendar for me, right?
For sure.
That's amazing. So if you guys want your very own calendar of you flying, make sure you get up with Jim and make sure you click that little QR code with your phone while you see him on the screen, because he has something special for you if you click that QR code. What is that something special? You said last time, I forgot what it was.
I'll give you a great discount.
Nice.
Click that QR code. We appreciate you, buddy. And thank you for being a sponsor of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. We also got Joshua Marsh in the house. He was a guest, and he's been on the panel for a while. He's going to be in the background helping us out. We definitely appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
We also got Sean in the background going to help us out. So thank you again, Sean. We appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And of course, it's not about me. It's not about the panel tonight. It's all about our guest, Kyle Mooney. You probably know him because I think everybody knows him. He's that acro guy. He works over at the One Up Adventure that you started with your friend Travis back in 2019. That's just blown up. Everybody goes to see you. So welcome to the show, Kyle.
Much appreciated. Glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Linda, for inviting.
Well.
She is amazing. She is definitely amazing. We appreciate her. So, Kyle, for people that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into paramotoring.
So I started flying about 10 years ago. My dad used to fly ultralights, so he built several of the small little Challenger ultralights. He loved it. I hated it. I puked every time. It was not my thing. And then when we moved, we didn't have a runway, so he learned how to fly paramotors. And I didn't really care at the time. I was 21, and I was more into cars and girls than paramotoring. And now, right after that, I started kiting, and I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. I'm like, I don't want to fly this piece of fabric with this fan thing. It was weird. And I got good at kiting. And
I think we got a little bit of feedback on your microphone all of a sudden for some reason. Did you guys hear it too, or is it just me?
Yeah, it just started a little bit of static.
okay.
It's
Tell
static.
me if it chimes in again.
It's still there.
How about now?
It's still there.
Hey, I wasn't there earlier when we were talking.
No,
Now it's better.
now it's better.
Okay, I turned off the speakers, but they weren't even
Okay.
speaking. So if it happens again, let me know. But yeah, so I thought it was really dumb. And then after that, I actually taught myself how to fly in the backyard. My first flight was on a 30-meter A-wing on a top 80 with no helmet. So don't advise doing that. Please don't do that. But you know what? It was a good learning experience, and I think that's why I enjoy teaching now, is because I learned all of the wrong things to do, and now obviously I know the right things to do. So now I really enjoy it, and I've been flying about 10 years now. I worked at Aviator in end of 2016, beginning of 2017, something like that. And I was there for a couple of years with Travis and Eric. And at that time, John Isley was there, and then Mary Shanley was there. As some may know, some may not. And then after that, in 2019, I left. And shortly afterwards, Travis and I started One Up in 2019. And then Allie joined us, not this year, only about a year after it started. So.
Yeah, she was actually on our show in episode 55.
Yeah, no, it's a small world out here in this
It really
paramotoring
is.
world that we have.
It really is. Now, you were just in France for a while. I mean, you went there for 10 days. Can you tell us a little bit about your France excursion?
Yeah, so we went to what's called Coupe Car, and if you're not familiar with that, it is a huge paragliding festival, and they do some paramotoring as well, but it's in the mountains of France, in Saint Hilaire, France. And we went there just to get to know some more people, hang out with everybody. And it was really cool to meet all of these people that you've, seen on YouTube or seen the videos that they make. The world champion pilots are there from all, disciplines of the sport, whether it's slalom racing. I got to hang out with Alex Mateos and Maria there. Bisho, I don't know if anyone keeps up with the acro world, but Bisho Carrera is the world champion for acro. You get to hang out with all of these people along with the owners of all these companies and really get to a feel for what a different world entails. We're in the paramotoring community, and there is some of that there. There's, engine manufacturers and things there, but really getting to be there is pretty surreal. I'm actually working on the video, not right now, but today I was working on the video of what we did there. It's just going to be a short 4 or 5 minute video, just kind of showing everything. And if anybody wants to go, next year is the 50th anniversary, I would most definitely go. It's just a great place to go and hang out with all sorts of people.
So how would we be able to do such a thing? You guys do the excursions from One Up and we just sign up, or how does that work?
No, for a Coupe Car, it wouldn't be an excursion kind of thing. It would just be you going. So you can get there and buy a ticket at the gate. You just book a flight to where did we fly into? You can go to Rome. We went to somewhere in Switzerland, and then we drove there, and it's actually great. We got an Airbnb, and there was relatively inexpensive. I think it might have been $80 a night for an Airbnb, maybe $100 a night, and then getting into the event, I think, is $50. And then you can be there for the whole time and just get to experience all of this, the nightlife that's there, because there's these huge, cool parties there, and all of the. You'll see it in the video, all these really interesting costumes people go around in. And this is the event where everyone goes off of the mountain, and all of like the crazy contraptions where they got like a fighter jet they built out of cardboard and they're taking it off the mountain, and 5 people at the same time going off the mountain. It was surreal. It was really neat.
Wow, that sounds absolutely incredible. The super chat is blowing up. I mean, so many people are in there right now. Any questions from the panel, or is there any questions in the super chat for Kyle?
Yeah, there's a question from James. he was wondering about having two schools at Lake Wales Airport and how the dynamics of that relationship is.
No, honestly, it's good. We're out there every day. And of course, when aviators training, they're out there every day. Every time we go out in the field, we get along with all of those people. We all hang out, might sit down and have a drink one night or whatever the case is. Yeah, there's no issues there. We actually try to help each other out, if somebody needs to borrow a wing for whatever reason, or student has a hard landing, it's not just them that's going over there. We might, if we're close by, we'll go over there, or somebody has an engine out in the middle of the field, we'll go out and get them if there's nobody else out there to help them out. So no, it's actually really good. I have nothing bad to say, to be quite honest.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually, it is awesome. It's, that's why that question would come up, because I could understand how it could be seen as it could be a problem, but it's really not.
Another thing that seems every show that we do, they always ask, what is your go-to wing and your go-to motor for all of our guests? So before that pops out, what is your go-to wing and your go-to motor?
All right, I'll start with the motor. So little backstory, I flew Air Conception and I tested the Tornado. I did 9 months of prototyping on it and I loved it. Of course, it had some issues at the time, and now I don't even fly that anymore. My preferred ride is the Fly Products Rider. I actually started flying that before we even sold Fly Products. We had a friend on our aerobatic team who was a Fly Products pilot, and I got to fly his, and I loved it. So I actually worked with Fly Products and became a Fly Products pilot. I'm going on my, it's over 3 years now I've been with Fly Products, and honestly, I absolutely love it. But side note, every paramotor has its quirks, right? So just because I fly it or just because we sell it or whatever the case is, doesn't mean it's the right one for you. It's all about what fits you and your body style. So certain harnesses I really dislike, but it's just the one that it fits me and fits my body. So that's why I fly it. As far as a glider goes, man, I mean, I love everything BGD has to offer. Now, I'm kind of I don't know if I can say this on the show, I'm a wing whore. I love new wings. I love being able to try out new wings, own new wings. As far as acro goes, my preferred glider is the AirG Emily Piece 2. If you're not in the acro world, you probably have no idea what that is, but it is an acro wing. And then as far as paramotoring goes, anything fast and anything I can get my hands on. Lately, I have been flying the BGD Magic extra small. It is an A glider. That has been my ride for like the last month that I've been just ripping around. A lot of guys don't like A-wings because they don't do those cool maneuvers, but trust me, that A-wing will go upside down just as easy as the rest of them.
That's a very interesting thing. I know a lot of people, they want to go to a smaller glider or go from an A to a B to a C to a D, eventually. And you're just telling us right now, you can be an acro pilot and acro a small A-wing without any problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, of course it does things. It requires a little bit more input. If you pull 4 inches of brake on an advanced glider to go upside down, you might have to pull 10 to 12, just as a bare example there. But it's one of those things where every single person should have an A-wing in their quiver for the crappy days, for the days that maybe they're feeling lazy. Maybe they want to throw it on a trike. Nobody wants to fly a 15-meter tiny glider on a trike all the time. They're just a lot harder to control. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with an A-wing. Right now, currently, I don't even own a wing. I use our school's wings.
Yeah.
I have heard that from a lot of people at a lot of schools. And I think that I'm going to be doing the same thing here. I'm like you. I love to try different wings and different motors. It's just really fun. I mean, when you're able to do something like that, that is really awesome. We got a lot of people in the super chat. A lot of people are asking lots of questions. Let's say hi to everybody real quick. We got Eric, Von Eric, we got Godley, we got Jim, we got Will Fly, Drew Jacobs, Bonnie Franz, Bill H, Typeman Smith, I think I'm saying that right, Drew Jacobs, Will Hewer, Racing with Paramotors, James, I think I saw a resurgence in there someplace also. Kelby Cox, so many people out there. We got the Dro. Am I saying that right? And don't forget, if you're listening to this, make sure you say hi in the super chat, especially Will Fly, because we got the spinny wheel of Winnie things. We also got a bunch of questions in the super chat. Who wants to ask those questions to Kyle?
Yeah, Racing with Paramotors wants to know if you had 1 month off, all expenses paid, where would you go?
Oh man, that is a loaded question right there. Let me tell you what. Where would I go? If I could go more than one place, I definitely would, because 1 month is enough to hit a lot of countries. I would definitely do Tunisia, Dubai, and probably go back to Thailand and South America. Because in a month you could do a week at each place and you'd be good to go. There's so many places that have been dreams of mine to fly at that I haven't been able to, mainly because, well, you're working, you're doing a lot of stuff, and those would be my 4, I think, that I would absolutely love to go to.
Have you already been to all 4?
I've been to Thailand, but I have not been to Dubai or South America. And I've been to a lot of places in Europe, but there's a few certain areas that I would love to fly. I did get to fly the, if anyone's ever seen a 007 movie, those cliffs that the cars drive through in the 007 movies, it's really windy. I flew that on a paramotor. So that was.
As soon as you hit your wire, you got that fuzz in there again.
Okay, I'm gonna move it. Here we go. But yeah, it's
still fuzzy.
Still fuzzy? All right, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Better?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best here. I don't know why it's doing that. It was working perfectly earlier.
Yeah, you got to stay perfectly still the whole show, Kyle.
Apparently. Apparently. Tell me when it gets better, guys.
Not quite there yet.
I don't know. What happened to this thing?
I don't know, but
Todd,
remember,
you
guys.
fixed this computer. I thought you fixed it.
Uh-oh. Well, Kyle's trying to figure that out. Remember, say hi to Will Fly in the super chat. We're going to be spinning that spinning wheel of winning thing twice tonight, one at 7:30 and one at 8 o'clock. So you must be present to win. So make sure you say hello to Will Fly, the PPG guy.
I believe I got everyone on the wheel thus far.
All right.
How's that? Is that any better?
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. We got you.
All right. I am not going to move. But yeah, so that would be, some of those places that I would love to go to. I've got to fly in so many places and it's been amazing, but if I could pick, that would be where I would go. I wouldn't just pick one, especially if it was for like a month, because there are so many good places around that you can fly. And once you travel to these places, you make a lot of friends. And in the paramotor world, anybody you meet is just your friend. So we can go to so many places around and make a phone call and they'll have a motor ready and bring your glider with and you can go fly.
Yeah, that is so right. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. If both of you fly paramotors, there's that instant connection. You know a lot about that other person just because they fly a paramotor. It's kind of an understanding,
Yeah, it's a mutual respect thing, and it has taken us a long way when we go places.
Definitely.
There is another question that's very quite related to that. Phil Hooker was talking, he was wanting to know if you travel with your motor and how do you do that?
So generally, when I travel overseas, for example, I don't. I make a phone call, and if we go to Europe, for example, we know a lot of people there. Specifically in Italy, that's where Fly Products is based, so I don't need to bring one. But in the US, we just throw them in a trailer and go. But I'll be quite honest, I've never had to take my motor overseas. I feel very fortunate to have a lot of good friends that are overseas, and it's not something that I have to worry about. Now, for a competition per se, I would bring my own. And in that case, I would just simply break it down, make sure the smell of gas is out. I'd probably just buy a new gas tank so I don't have to worry about it. For the $60 or whatever the gas tank costs, buy a new gas tank, take the piston and the cylinder off, clean it out really good. A lot of bed sheets, maybe some coffee sprinkled in there, and not in the motor, in the suitcase, just so we're clear. And yeah, then be good to go.
So coffee is a good racing fuel. Love it. All right. So now we know things that we didn't know before. We got some more questions in the super chat. They're really rolling them out. Who
Yeah,
wants to? Who wants
You
to ask us?
got, we see, okay, so Resurgence PPG, Todd wants to know, where do you see the US Acro going with Ryan joining the ranks of Infinite Pilots?
I like this question. I'm surprised Todd didn't make fun of me, to be quite honest. I love you, Todd. So one thing that was really cool was I was known for a long time as a, the best acro pilot, whatever. That's not, what I was going for with it. I started doing acro for me. That was all for me. I didn't care what others, wanted. It was just what I wanted to do. And I'll be quite honest, Gloka has now he has surpassed what I was able to accomplish. And more good on him. Ryan Gloka, Minyard, Chris Holbert. I've been watching, those guys, following them on social media, chatting with them. They were at Koopa Car as well. And Ryan actually hit the Super Stall to Infinite paragliding. So I think he plans to bring that to motor. He also hit the Mac Twist on Paramotor, which is something that I won't do, just as a personal boundary.
What is that Mac Twist?
A Mac Twist is, rather than doing a 360 with a Misty Flip is a 360. So you go through the bottom of the gate and then you pull the brake really hard and it spins your glider in a 360 and it shoots forward and you fly away. And a Mac Twist is a 720. So you do 2 full spins and then the glider shoots in front of you. It is a very dynamic maneuver. It is one of the coolest feeling maneuvers to do. I can do it free flying, but on a motor, it's just too aggressive. And I'll be honest, look at these guns. Yeah, there's nothing there. I don't have the strength to pull hard enough on a motor to do that. So yeah, Ryan, I think acro is going to, I hope it keeps going. I'm not going to take, full responsibility for helping it move that way, because there's been way too many other pilots as well that have helped with that. But it's been really cool to see, and whether they got inspiration from me or somebody else, it doesn't matter to me. I think now Ryan's already competed at a one of the World Acro Tours. I don't know what he placed. I just know that he competed, and that is something that I wanted to do as well. So I'm really excited for those guys to keep pushing the envelope. And I'll be honest, it's a lot easier to push the envelope when you're 21 years old and don't have any kids yet.
Ain't that the truth? I also heard through the grapevine that you sold all of your acro stuff recently. Are you getting out of acro? What's going on with that?
No, so I'm gonna be shifting my focus a little bit. I love acro and I love what I do. But down here right now, my boy Judson, he left, and shame on you, Judson. Come back and hang out. And we were the kind of we pushed each other. We were always flying together. We're always having a good time. And yeah, I just didn't really have the desire to keep pushing it for just me. I got to the point where I wanted to, which was the infinite tumble, without throwing a reserve. That was my goal, and I got there. And now I think I'm just going to focus on classic competition. I have a lot of friends that do classic competition, and I told them I'm coming for them and I'm going to have a good time. And it's a friendly competition, of course, in my mind. Some of the guys go really, really hard, but I'm just going to give it my best and have a good time with it.
Speaking about competition, I know that you signed up for the Icarus race this year, but it wasn't going on. So what are your plans as far as like long distance cross countries and things like that?
The funny part is that question, to those who fly with me a lot, probably just laughed at you, because they know that they call it a Kyle cross country, because if you can see it, that's where I go, because I was always the acro guy. And now, I have been doing a little bit, longer flights. I'll be honest, most of my flights are between 20 and 30 minutes. I go up, I rip it hard, I get down, and I'm good. But now I'm really going to focus on not necessarily the cross country aspect. The Icarus was, I just wanted to beat Tucker's time. That's it. I told him I just wanted to beat his time, and that's the only reason I wanted to do it, just so I could do it. But again, it's all friendly kind of thing. So now I'm just going to focus on classical competition. And if another opportunity such as the Icarus presents itself and I'm able to do it, I'd love to. It expands that envelope of what I was doing and makes it a little more fun. So.
And for all the people that are laughing at me, give me thumbs up and I'll forgive you all. We got about 30 people watching. We got about 10 likes. So give some thumbs up and I'm a happy grandpa. I think we got a bunch of people also in the super chat that has been asking questions. So someone would like to read those questions off? Will? Jim?
There's a question here from Bill H. He was wondering if you've ever flown a Mac Fly paramotor.
I have. I have only flown it once. And I'll be honest, I have nothing bad to say about it. And that was, I think, that was around my air conception days, a little bit after it. I think I might have already had a fly products. It was a while back. I have nothing bad to say about it. And it's kind of like what I said before. There's no perfect motor, and there's definitely some not as good of motors. But when it comes to the frame itself, we all know that the pretty much the standard for the most part in the U.S. is the Moster 185 when it comes to average Joe, 160 pounds plus. They're going to be flying a Moster. The frame choice, honestly, it's personal preference. What do you want it to do? Do you want it to break down? Do you want a crumple zone? What do you want in it? So yeah, at the end of the day, get what you like. And if you're somewhere and somebody says this is the best one, this is the only one you should buy, go buy a different one, because that obviously isn't the one.
Right on. Eric Von Eric wants to know, what's your best advice for someone coming in with 500 jumps skydiving and he's new to paramotoring?
When you bring down your glider, don't grab your risers.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've had a lot of skydivers come through our training, and they do really well. And I think my best advice is it's for after training, because a skydiver with 500 jumps, you're a pretty experienced skydiver at that point, and you're going to want to push the envelope. You're going to want to upgrade really fast. You're going to want to do acro maneuvers and be aggressive and look at me kind of thing. People say they don't want to do that, but Kodak courage is probably one of the biggest downfalls of that we have. So somebody coming in like that, take it slow. You don't know what you don't know. A paraglider is much different than a skydive canopy. Be smart and make sure that you fly with people that are better than you, that are willing to step on your toes when you decide to step over the line.
So for people that don't know, that are just listening to this and they haven't had any training, they aren't flying yet, what exactly is Kodak courage?
Kodak courage is basically you're flying around and your mom, your girlfriend, your wife, your spouse, whomever, somebody is down there and you're trying to show off because, hey, look at me, I can fly now and I'm going to go do a wing over and I've never done one. Or I'm going to do acro low to the ground so they can get a good picture. I have lost too many friends from that kind of thing. And I'll be honest, don't show off. This is a sport for us. This is why I love what we do, is because this is for us. I'm not here to show off. When you see me fly at a fly-in, that's about 80% or less for sure. I push it the hardest when I'm by myself because it's for me. I want to do it for me. So yeah, the best thing I can tell you is don't show off for people just because there's a camera. One of our mottos, especially in the air show industry, is people are amazed the damn things fly anyway.
And I totally agree. If you're just flying over straight, they're like, wow, that's the most incredible thing ever. You don't need to do a wing over. I agree. Any other questions in the super chat? I think we got a full super chat tonight.
James wants to know if you've ever, have you flown the Free Ride 2 yet? And if so, is it major improvement?
I have not. I hope to soon. I did speak with Judson actually today on the phone, and he flew a friend's Free Ride 2, and he said that, his words, not mine, the best glider he's ever flown. Now, I haven't flown it, and every time we get on a new toy, and I'm not knocking Judson one bit because I trust what he says for sure, but I always take everything anybody says with a new glider with a grain of salt. I always like to fly it for myself because, again, a glider is just like a motor. Might fit your flying style, might not. When it comes to something like the Freeride 2, that is made to win slalom competitions. That's not made for your daily rip around glider kind of thing. So yeah, I think I'm excited to fly it. And yeah, go from there. I wish I had more to tell you on that.
Right on.
Awesome. It's almost 7:30, which means that we're gonna be spinning the spinning wheel of winning things. And Josh, are you still there? Don't forget to be posting throwing videos up. He goes, that's what I was supposed to do, damn it. So if you have not said hello to Will Fly, if you are just listening to this right now, please say hi in the super chat, tag Will Fly so we can put you on the spinning wheel of winning things.
I got a question.
Yes.
if I could. You had mentioned the slalom racing.
Yeah.
And I know people have talked about setting up pylons and have talked about instructing that, but
Yeah.
is there anything actually happening in that direction right now?
You know, there is a team in there's the USA Paramotor team, and that is something that they want to do. Now, the issue that any of us pilots that want to fly slalom, for me, I don't necessarily want to fly slalom. I enjoy the act of it, but I don't want to race. Maybe one day I'll change my mind, but yeah, when it comes to slalom, the biggest issue people have been finding is you need to do it over water. If you want to be safe, you do it over water. And for the ability to put out 6 to 8 pylons to practice a true course over a lake, just that alone, you know, just buying the pylons, having the rafts, anchoring them down, and then having a rescue boat and all of this other stuff, it's a lot that goes into a simple practice. So I think that's why it's pretty difficult. And the scene in the US, most US pilots, they don't care about slalom, they don't care about competition, they don't care about acro. All they want to do is take off out of their backyard, fly, enjoy the scenery, land, and go home to their families. So you know, the people that want to do slalom and that kind of stuff, it's few and far in between comparatively to the grand scheme of things.
Thank you.
Now, Kyle is graciously going to be giving away a T-shirt. So Will Fly is going to be popping up that spinning wheel of winning things if he has everybody already on there. Do you have everybody on there, bud?
I do believe that I do.
Awesome. We're also going to be giving away another fun item at 8 o'clock. You must be present to win. So make sure you say hi to Will Fly, the PPG guy, and he'll put you on the spinning wheel of winning things. So, oh, who is this?
Oh, that's an ugly dude on that picture.
Wait, well, wait a minute. Now it was upside down. That's not fair.
Oh, there we go.
There,
That's
Look at
there
it.
you go.
There it is. There he is.
A
That
little
was-
That
bit
is a
That was
better.
cool
3 years
idea.
ago.
That is cool. Well, that's a good idea on the
That
show.
is awesome. How many people are watching and how many likes do we have right now?
We have got 31 watching and 19 likes.
Oh my
Yay.
goodness, we need to have some more likes. Let's at least get up to 20 likes before we spin. Come on, guys, if you want to win something, you know, show us some love. Show us
We
some
need
love.
one more like.
We need another like.
It's
I know it's
coming.
difficult too. If you're watching this on your phone, if you have the actual YouTube app, there's a little button that says live chat. If you click that, you can watch the chat. And if you take that away, then you have the opportunity to hit likes. Oh, I see 20 likes. We did it. So spin at Will. Will.
All right, here we go.
That's
Good
my
luck,
joke. Spin at
everybody.
Will.
Round and round and round it goes.
Good
and-
Who's
job
our
on that.
first winner? Hot Buttered Productions.
Yep. Congratulations.
How about that? So
Congratulations.
Kyle, how does Hot Buttered Steve get up with you? Do you have a phone number or an email to get up with you?
Yeah, just shoot me an email at info@oneupadventures.com, and that'll come to our main email, and we'll see it. Just put ClearProp TV giveaway winner, and give me your T-shirt size, and then it'll get shipped to you.
Awesome, awesome. We also, and don't forget, guys, stick around because we're going to give away something else here at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock.
Right
Awesome.
there, that'll work.
And what's the URL for that one? Who is that? Was that Josh that posted that?
Yeah, oneupadventures.com, and then you can contact us using any of the emails that are on there. It's all the same one, so we'll be able to
Awesome.
you'll be able to get in touch with us that way.
Awesome. Man, he wins everything. He's always on the show. He's always in the super chat, so we definitely appreciate him.
Yeah.
Always good. All right, guys, let's continue. I think that we got a ton of questions in the super chat. Who wants to ask the questions? Sean, Josh, anybody's more than welcome to ask questions.
Go
I
ahead,
don't want-
Jim.
So Bonnie Franz was wondering, how long after you started flying did you start doing acro?
So I started flying, and then about 4 years into it, I actually went to Spain, and I did I did this whole thing very backwards compared to what everybody else kind of should do. I went there with Javi Malagida, and he was the first person in the world to do infinite on a paramotor. And I met him in Australia, and he said, "Hey man, anytime you want to come train, you just come to Spain, and I'll pick you up." And it was kind of like a joke. And then I messaged him, and he said, "Sure." And I actually booked a ticket to Spain like 3 days later and showed up. And I went to the mountain, took my first free flight off one of the, I wouldn't say it's the most advanced mountain, but it is not a beginner friendly area. And I did some full stalls, and that was it. But after that, I actually took 3 years off, and I didn't do any acro, any like real acro, barrel rolls and stuff. I don't consider that acro. When you're getting into, helicopters and misty flips and those kinds of things, that's the real kind of acro. So really it was about after I got into it about 6 years or so when I really started to do a lot of crazy acro and actually started pushing it.
So, what is acro to you, and what is not acro to you? Because I'm kind of curious. Do you feel that like wing overs are acro?
No, so in my mind, acro to me is, by definition at the FAA, when we go to Oshkosh, for example, and we perform at the air show, acro to them is when you're considered past, I believe it's a 60-degree angle of attack. So when you're getting past that, it's considered, an acro state. But for me personally, acro is more so if you can get vertical over that glider and not fall into it, you're doing acro, right? But just a barrel roll, I'll be honest, anybody can do a barrel roll with a big enough wing over, and you pull on the other outside brake hard enough. Don't take that as advice. Please don't go do that. Learn it properly. Um, but to me, the real acro is when you start, we call it floppy wing acro, when you're learning how to stall a glider and, do these kinds of maneuvers where everything you think you know about a glider right now and actually how to fly one, it pretty much goes out the window because you're having to catch the surge that from a glider that's 30 degrees behind you and it shoots forward, and you need to know when to catch it. Otherwise it goes into a cascading collapse. And it's a lot more to it. So when I talk about real acro, that's what I'm talking about. The helicopters and the misty flips, the infinite tumbles, things like that. That's the kind of acro that it takes a long time to get to it and to do it well. Unless you're Gloka, then you're just a freak of nature and can just do it.
So a lot of people think that going to SIV course is acro. Obviously, SIV is not acro. Can you tell the people that are out there listening what is the difference between going to SIV class and going to an actual acro class?
So SIV is where you start, right? So SIV is kind of like the beginning where you learn the stalls, do the full frontal collapses, you do all of those things to prepare you for the acro. Now, a lot of people don't use it for that. They use it because they want to get more familiar. I believe every single pilot should take an SIV course at some point. Me personally, I would have them do it 6 months out of training, right? Fresh out of training, 6 months out. And I say that because you don't know what you don't know. So you're not scared of going weightless just yet. But if you've been flying for 2 years, if you go weightless, things can happen that you weren't ready for. But if you don't know that that's a bad thing and you go there, all you're going to do is listen to your instructor rather than going, "Oh, I think I know how to do this," and then you end up falling into the glider or something like that. So yeah, an SIV course is really where they teach you a lot of those things. And some SIVs, if you do well, they will get you into acro. You'll get to do a sat, you get to do a coconut spin, things like that, where it'll prepare you for that real type of acro.
And then where would you actually go to learn the acro like you do? I mean, is there actually places around the United States, or is it out of country? Where do you go to learn real acro?
You can do it in the US. There's maybe one or two people that are willing to teach you in that regard, because a lot of guys want to do it on their motor. But if I could suggest one place, I trained, I don't know if anybody knows who Theo DeBlick is. He is a 3-time world champion. I trained with him one-on-one for several days in Italy, and now he started a business with him and Jack Pimblett. And they do a lot of courses in Turkey. It's called Rise Paragliding, RISE Paragliding. By far one of the best in the world. You have world champion pilots coaching you, and people leave there with a much better understanding, and it's safe and it's over water, and you have some of the best instructors that money can buy in your ear. Yeah, it might. Yep, there you go. It might cost you some money, but I mean, what's worth more to you? You know, your ability to walk in your life, or that 2 or 3 thousand bucks you're going to spend to go overseas and learn it properly.
Now, I assume that you have used many different types of reserves, um, steerable, regalo, square, round. What have you found to be like the most, uh, maybe the best in what you do as far as acro and stuff like that? What's the best one that you have found?
So if it was me and I was getting into acro and going to do those kinds of things, I would have the steerable on my dominant side. That's a preference for me. I had a Rogala steerable on my left-hand side because I'm left-hand dominant. And then on my right side, I had a square. That would be my suggestion. Get a size, and don't go with if you're 100 kilos all up, don't get the 160, get the one that's just above. So if you're 100, don't get the 100, get the 120, because people have this misguided idea that if you have a bigger reserve, it's going to slow down your descent. But the caveat is if you have too big a reserve, your weight might not be enough to open that reserve quickly. So don't go too big when you get a reserve.
Interesting. Now, what are the different reserves that you have used in the past or have learned about?
I mean, we've rounds, steerables, squares. I mean, rounds are kind of they're not old technology, but the idea now is that the square reserves, they open faster and they oscillate, swinging less when you're coming down on them. So that is the general consensus now, is you want a square reserve. And then of course,
I think as you went like this, you bumped your microphone and you're all scratchy again.
still scratchy.
Still scratchy.
Man, Todd, what are you doing?
We're about 20 minutes till 8 o'clock my time and Central Time. We're going to be doing the spinning wheel of Winnie things. As Kyle's trying to figure out what's going on with his microphone, make sure you say hello to Will Fly, the PPG guy, and he'll put you in the spinning wheel of Winnie things. I think that Joshua had his hand up to ask a question also.
Check.
I know that you got the square, the rounds, the regalo, which are the steerable, right?
Yeah, so the Rogallo or steerable, it's the same thing. It's just the Rogala steerable reserve.
Yeah, I got the Beamer 130, I think.
Yep.
And
Yep, the Beamer 3. Yep, that's what I had. I actually sold that one and I just have a square now.
oh, really? Why would you get away? I mean, why would you get rid of a steerable to go for a square that just drop you down straight? What would be the difference?
Reliability. Because
Really?
yep, I mean, realistically it's going to open, but man, if you have some bad luck, something goes wrong, I want something that I know for sure is going to open. And now that I'm not doing crazy hard acro, the infinites and everything like that, now if somebody has a glider that can do it and it's my size and I have a spare reserve, yeah, I'll go up and do it. But I just wanted something that's light and also just something that's 100% reliable, that I trust 100%.
Gotcha. Awesome. Josh, you had a question?
Yeah. What's the favorite prop? U-prop, helix.
I'll be honest. Right now I currently use a 3-blade 130 centimeter E-prop. That's currently what I use. Now, when it comes to props, it's kind of like motors. You pick, hey, that's my motor right there. You pick what you want. I chose the 3-blade because I like that it's smooth, and I chose E-props because it has a faster spool time. The reason it has a faster spool time is because the prop is lighter than a helix. But the caveat is the E-prop is more fragile. If you're hitting sand with it, if you're on a trike, doing those kinds of things, they eat through the prop more. And a helix is better suited, and it is just an overall more robust prop compared to an E-prop. So I don't really have a favorite. It all depends on what I'm trying to do. Hey, that's Drew Wired's motor with his 6-blade on his Scout.
6-blade? Is that even? I mean, why would you put a 6-blade on there other than say, "Look at me, I got a 6-blade"?
I guess why else would you lift your truck 12 inches to?
So we showed paramotorprops.com. You also have Fly Products USA, and you got the One Up Adventures.
Yep.
So you got three different companies that you and your friends are running. If you want to get a good prop, you think that going to paramotorprops.com is the way to go? It has the best prices, quick shipping.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll be honest. Like our prices are the same as Sky Sports. We're 320 for a two-blade prop, two-blade E-prop, and free shipping. Sky Sports offers the same thing. It's all about who you want to support at that point. And if you're good friends with those, with Chris and those guys at Sky Sports, go to Sky Sports. And if you want to buy from us, buy from us. It's all about who you want to support at the end of the day. There's no Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know what else to say on that regard. Just get it where you want to get it, and we keep stock of pretty much everything. So, yeah, we got pretty much everything you need.
Absolutely. Speaking about support, don't forget Resurgence PPG. Make sure you guys go over there and donate. Resurgence are doing amazing things for disabled veterans, getting them up in the sky. Resurgence PPG. Any other questions in the super chat for Kyle?
Yeah, there's another one here from Bonnie France. She was wondering if you were at Oshkosh this year. She was just wondering if she got a picture of you.
Sadly, I was not this year. So where was I? I was in France, actually. I was in France again, actually. So I was in France twice this year. But I was not at Oshkosh. I started the Arrhythmia air show team, the one that did perform there. I started that air show team not this year, but the previous year. So this was our second year performing at Oshkosh, and I just was not able to make it. So I had a good friend of mine, John Isley. We're kind of like the co-founders of Arrhythmia, and he took lead of it while I was gone, and took real good care of it, and a couple of the other air shows that they did this year as well.
Cool. She was also wondering, where are you out of? Like you're out of Florida now, right?
Yep,
Wales?
Lake Wales, Central Florida, Lake Wales, about an hour and 10 minutes south of Orlando.
Right on. There was another question too. That was from 555. So if you're self-trained, how do you know when you're 6 months out of training?
So generally well, when did you take that first flight, right? If you took that first flight January 1st, how much have you been flying since? And, did you fly that one time and then after that you were like, oh, I'm done for 3 months because I scared myself or whatever the case is. Honestly, if you're a self-trained pilot like that, it doesn't hurt to go get, for lack of a better term, some advanced training from somewhere to learn the things that you couldn't teach yourself. And for me, I would be twice the pilot I am if I would have actually gotten training.
Wow. Well, along that line, what would be your scariest paramotor experience?
My scariest paramotor experience. June 23rd, 2021, 8:43 p.m. It is when I hit the ground going about 40 miles an hour. I had my first worst accident. My second worst accident was kiting, but the first one was there. I was over a wheat field, and wheat fields don't go flat. They kind of do this, as we all know, crops aren't level and fields aren't level. And all I did was I made a turn. I went to full power and I made a turn, and my wingtip caught the barley, and it didn't let go. And I pile drive straight in, and I dislocated my right ankle. I hit the ground. I bounced. I did a front flip, landed right on my back. Held up my leg. I at first was like, okay, I'm alive. I wiggled my hands, wiggled my toe. My toe is on my left foot because I couldn't feel my right foot. And yeah, I reached over, grabbed my foot. It popped right back into place. Didn't feel a thing because of adrenaline, and it was numb. And yeah, that's kind of it changed it for me for sure. It gave me a better respect for it, as we had just lost another fellow pilot out on the West Coast only a couple months prior doing wing overs, and he hit the ground. and he didn't make it. So, you know, it really brought that into perspective. And I used to do wingtip drags all the time, you know, take off, turn, wingtip drag, wingtip drag. It was a lot of fun. And since then, I have not done one, and I do not ever intend to do another one. So we all have our
even on grass, or that's just kind of steered you away completely from doing a wingtip drag.
you know what, the wingtip drags, they're cool, but what's even cooler is having your wingtip a foot off the ground and being able to keep it there. Shows, you know, a lot of skill. And you know, wingtip drags are cool and all, but it's not that cool when you or your friend hit the ground, and you have to witness it or be the one that does it. To be frank, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze.
For the
Yeah.
people that haven't gone to any sort of training but are thinking about going to training, what are some of the takeaways with your accident that you had? I mean, do the students have to worry about, you know, having these crashes and stuff, or is it something that could be avoided?
No, it's 100% avoidable. 100%. When we have guys come in and train, you know, everyone is scared of the landing. That is like for some reason, that is what scares people, is the landing. When we all know the hardest part about flying is actually taking off. So yeah, when you're in training and things like that, like right now we have a beginner student, and her husband flies, and she's learning to fly. She's actually already a paragliding pilot, and now she's becoming a trike pilot. But for those that are, you know, scared coming into it, it's all about the choices that you make. Don't show off in front of people. Don't do low acro, and make smart choices, and you'll be safe for your entire flying career.
Yeah.
There was another question that's related to accidents. Have you ever had to throw a reserve in an emergency?
0.
Wow, beautiful.
Have you ever thrown a reserve like at an SIV, or just to feel what it feels like?
Nope, I have not. And you know, some might say that that's a bad thing, just because, you know, you don't have the experience to do so. I've only had 2 situations where I have almost went for the happy handle. And both of those situations, one, I was at 80 feet at the Bad Apples Fly-In last year, and I took about a 60%er. I have a picture of it somewhere. And you could not see the logo in the middle of my glider. That's how far it collapsed. And I was at about 80 feet. Luckily, I got it out, and I landed, and put on a new diaper because I think I needed one. And then the other one was I was in an infinite, and I braked too early, and the glider balled up, literally turned into a ball. But I was at about 2,000 feet or so I had plenty of time to fix it. I got riser twist, had a cravat and everything, and I got out of the riser twist, got the cravat out, flew away, started my motor back up, and did it again. Not the riser twist part, but the maneuver again. And I do that because if you're ever scared of something, if you go up and you know, you've done this maneuver a lot kind of thing, and you're just up there practicing, the best thing you can do is go up there and do it again. Assuming you're in the right mindset. And that's because otherwise you're going to be thinking about it, and that's all you're going to think about, is how you messed that up and how you're scared to do it. So the best thing you can do is get back on the horse and do it again, but better.
Absolutely. Any other questions in the super chat?
I mean, I think thought there was one more. No, I think we got him. I think we covered him.
All right. If you asked a question in the super chat, but we did not ask it, please re-ask it and tag Will Fly, and we'll ask it to Kyle. Who is this on the screen? What's going on here with that?
Is that the one where I'm kneeling down? Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, so that was Peter Schreipel. He actually has a YouTube channel with man.
I love that one. Yes.
Yeah, he's a really good friend of ours. We actually trained Peter how to fly, and his brother Steven. And that was a drone paramotor. So each one of those little engines is a drone motor. And there's 2 of them. So there's one on the front side, one on the back side, and they're spinning, you know, congruently, so it adds more thrust. And it had 50 engines on there, and we tried to fly it. And I was kneeling on the ground because I ran about 200 yards trying to fly it. I eventually did in that video. I did get off the ground, but yeah, he makes these crazy contraptions, and then we end up flying them.
Yeah, and we got static in your microphone again.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't touch it that time.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm so sorry. We got 5 minutes until we do the spinning wheel of winning things. If you're able to give us that thumbs up, we definitely appreciate that. It helps our metrics for sure. And we're watching all sorts of really cool things on the screen right now. So if you are listening to our audio podcast, our PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, make sure you run over to clearproptv.com. Check out this episode, which is episode 140. Scroll through. We got a lot of cool videos. Matter of fact, if you want to just go and check out One Up Adventures videos, the link is down in the description below. We got that fixed, Mr. Kyle?
I think so.
All right, good deal.
You got a couple more questions there, Sean.
Okay.
Ben Paramotor NC wants to know what was the cause of the 60% collapse at Bad Apples.
So I was, it depends on if you're familiar with Bad Apples or not, but there is the pond and then there's that giant set of trees right there. And it was, I wouldn't say late morning. It was just, getting towards that, hour after sunrise kind of thing. And of course there's 80, 100 pilots in the air or whatever. And, along with wind, just a little bit coming over those trees. And honestly, I don't know. I was actually coming in to do a foot drag on the pond and I took a huge collapse and I'll have to find the picture and I'll send it to you guys. And yeah, took a full 60%er and I was actually down all the way to the right-hand side. My hand was all the way down to get it out. And it luckily it popped out because if it wouldn't, my hand was right by the reserve. And right when I pulled down, if it didn't pop out, my hand was right by the reserve and I was grabbing that handle with my brake in my hand, because at 80 feet, you have no time. And I don't want to be the one for the lowest reserve throw because there are plenty of people that have tried to beat that record and have failed.
What is the lowest reserve throw that you know of so far?
60 feet.
That worked.
That worked.
Wow. Man,
But-
that's some fast thinking there.
Yeah. Whether it's luck or skill or whatever you want to call it, I'll take either one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of people are wondering, it's like, well, if I'm just going to go up 100 feet, I don't need to bring a reserve. Why even have a reserve? It won't even open up under 100 feet. You're saying that if you're up at 100 feet, bring a reserve because it could save your life all the way down to 60 feet.
If you have-
Possibly.
yeah.
Possibly.
If you have a reserve, bring it. As some of the people say, like Chris Anacroce has said, when in doubt, throw it out. I think that's a direct quote. Could be wrong. If I am, sorry, Chris. But yeah, it's one of those things where why not? You have a seatbelt in your car, is there, might as well wear it, right? So yeah, bring your reserve with. Please bring your reserve with. I don't care if you're the guy who's, oh, I never go above 100 feet. Yeah, that's cool. But you never expect to throw a reserve either. So the only time I ever fly without a reserve is if it's a student unit and it's literally to take the gear from point A, which is maybe out in the field, to the hangar, which is a solid 300-yard flight, just so I could get a flight in.
Awesome.
And then Resurgence PPG wants to know what your plans are for Arrhythmia show for next year. He needs to schedule his dates.
Todd, we will talk when I see you next week. So Arrhythmia is we're not sure what the actual show dates are yet for the shows. I know that John's been working on some of that. But yeah, so if anybody doesn't know, Arrhythmia is an air show team. Travis and I were both part of Paradigm Aerobatics, and then I actually created Arrhythmia in 2021, and we performed at Oshkosh, which was our very first show we ever did, was at Oshkosh. And then we've done, I think they did 2 more shows plus Oshkosh, so a total of 4 shows thus far. And next year, I'm not sure what the schedule's like just yet. So they don't like to plan that far ahead.
What are the qualifications for getting on a team like that?
So each team is different. Arrhythmia, for example, was created and the members were chosen. It was all my choice. I created the team, so every person on that team was initially brought in by me. Travis and Ali, of course, because well, I work with them and I know what their skill levels are and I know that they're capable. And Travis has just as much experience at the air shows as I do. Scott Baxter from Midwest Parajet, Steve Reed from Midwest Parajet, both phenomenal pilots, great instructors. They know what's going on. Yeah, they're just they were a good fit, and so they joined the team. John Isley, of course, Todd is on the team, and as you can tell based on who I'm telling you, Justin Fox, Alexis Quintana, and these people that are on the team, they were put on it because they're friends, of course, but also it's a wide variety. Every time you went to an air show before, like when I was on Paradigm, for example, this isn't a knock on anybody, but it was a lot of young kids, right? Every person on Paradigm was under the age of 30. And that looks cool and all, but the 40-year-old dude at the air show is like, well, this is a young kid thing and it's not for me. Well, if you look at at Arrhythmia now, I think our youngest pilot is Allie, and she's 27, and the oldest is in their 50s. I don't have an actual age, and I don't want to age anybody. So something like that. And it's really cool to see that. And those guys are out there, and Todd's at an air show with an electric thingy in his chest, and he's doing an air show. Allie did the air show on a trike because she nearly broke her ankle a couple weeks before that. And it's just a really cool, way to go about it. So to answer your question, how to get on one of those teams, right place, right time. There is no application process, nothing like that. We don't do aerobatics in our shows. It is just a formation show because people are amazed that they fly anyway.
Beautiful.
So you've kind of grown up with the sport, Kyle, and you've seen where it was, where it is now. But 10 years from now, where do you see the sport?
Well, honestly, if it goes in the way that it should, everything's going to be electric. Not everything. I shouldn't say everything. I think electric will come a decent ways, because right now, if they created an electric motor that had the thrust of a Moster and I could hold full power for an hour and it weighed under 60 pounds, I would buy one tomorrow. Actually, I'd buy one right now. That is my hope. Gliders, as far as gliders go, I've been working with the R&D team at BGD, and gliders. There's a new glider out called the Flare Moustache, I guess you could say. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may have not. And it is a revolutionary design in gliders. And if that could be incorporated into paramotors, that would be cool. But I'll be honest, right now, it kind of seems like within the gliders anyway, we've kind of hit a pinnacle in what can be done. Now at this point, we're just trying to squeak out each bit of performance that we can get, on the slalom kind of wings. But when it comes to, the A and B categories, they're good. They are what they are. I'm really hoping that in the next 10 years, we see a lot less accidents and a lot less fatalities. But sadly, the numbers show us that that is going to be wrong, because more people into the sport, there's going to naturally be more accidents. You have more people on the road, there's more accidents. It's just, it's part of, what we do. You're always going to have those people that want to push it too hard, or the ones that make bad choices. But I hope that that's not the case. So yeah, 10 years from now, electric engines. And honestly, I hope that we can have a glider that's as safe as an A-wing, but you can race slalom with it. I mean, that'd be ideal. I think everybody would want that.
Yeah, man. How about on the regulation side? Do you think we can hold off on further regulations, or you think it's inevitable?
I could see who I could make angry with this comment. It depends on who posts videos flying around condos in South Beach, Miami, that kind of thing. But, if we can, this sport is, as we all know, self-regulatory. And when it comes to that, call out your friends, right? I have called out my friends to their face in front of people. You're being an idiot. Stop doing that, right? I don't want you to get hurt, kind of thing. I don't care if they're mad at me for 6 months. That's not my problem. What's my problem is if they get injured, and it has to be on my conscience, because I don't want it to be, and I want to do what I can to keep my friends safe. So as far as regulations go, if you're going to do something stupid, that's on you, but be a smart person and don't post it on YouTube.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I don't think I need to say anything more than that.
Totally agreed. Racing with Paramotors did ask, is there a difference between larger displacement engines? Are they better or worse?
It's all about your flying style. So I am 125 pounds wet, like with clothes on, and like after a shower with my wet clothes on. So, and I still fly a Moster. I have the experience to do so, so I'm totally okay with that. But if you're, don't upgrade too fast. If you're under a buck 60 and you're at sea level or under 2,000 feet, there's nothing wrong with an Atom 80. Not a thing. It'll get you off the ground. It'll be safe to you. It's not going to be too much power by any means. And as you get experience, you can upgrade. The larger displacement engines like the Cosmos and those kinds of engines are generally used for tandems and triking and the occasional solo pilot. So they're not worse by any means, and they're not better. It's all about the application that you choose to use them for.
Absolutely. We have to say goodbye to Josh. Josh has helped us. He's been putting
Bye,
the
Josh.
videos up for us. It's his anniversary tonight, and he still was on our panel. So thank you very much, Josh, for hanging with us. We appreciate you, buddy, and happy anniversary.
Happy
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
It's proof you're committed, man.
Yeah, that is some serious proof.
You
Thank
can
you.
let her know that.
I'll let her know. I appreciate it, y'all.
Happy anniversary,
Bye,
man.
man.
Thank y'all.
Hey,
So,
Resurgence PPG says that his shadow weighs more than you do, Kyle.
Hey, Todd, I'm going to let you put on this jersey again and see if you can fit into this one.
uh-oh.
I do have a picture of Todd in my jersey, though, somewhere.
Oh,
Oh,
do ya?
Oh, I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait to see that one.
Oh, yeah. Post that
Well, you
everywhere.
said that we have you as long as we want you. We're going to go ahead and spin that spinning wheel of Winnie thing since it's after 8 o'clock. From our show from episode 139 last week, Todd Scott from Vortex Aero is giving away 5 different mugs or cups. And
Thank you,
I don't know
Todd.
if you can see what it looks like, but they are really, really super nice mugs. They're travel mugs and they're very solid. Make sure that your name is on there. If you just joined us, make sure you say, "Will Fly. I'm here. Please put me on the spinning wheel of Winnie Things." We're going to go ahead and spin in about 30 seconds. We also want to thank our guest tonight, Kyle Mooney, for joining us and hanging with us and talking about all of the awesome things that he has done. And the wealth of knowledge from him is absolutely amazing. We definitely appreciate him being on
Always.
the on the show. Also, too, with our panel members, you guys could be doing anything tonight. You could be out flying, you could be watching television with your feet up, but you're here on the panel. We definitely thank you so much for helping out. Specifically, Jim from Canada, he has sponsored us and he's given us a bunch of stickers, decals, which are the decals if you're not from Canada, and maple syrup money. I tell you, he's incredible. He also helps us with the paramotorcalendars.com, and we appreciate you for that. Also, Linda Anderson, she's the one that's been getting you guys on our show. We are booked all the way until December. So if you want to be on our show, the first opening is December, and that's because of Linda Anderson, our ParamontUSA.com. If you want to be on a show, just go to ParamontUSA.com and it will forward to her Facebook page, and she can get you on the show. Will Fly helps us out in the background. He's absolutely amazing. He's done the spinning wheel of Winnie things, and he helps us with the questions. Sean in the background definitely helps us out, and Josh, of course, too, has helped us out. We appreciate everybody that's ever been on the show, and the people that are on the show right now. All right, buddy. If
Chatters. I have
you
to
don't-
thank my chatters out there
absolutely,
and my listeners. Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
y'all.
Yeah, man, it's been a great show. I think we have how many people we have watching?
let's see.
Right.
I see 40
Exciting.
people watching, 24 likes. So the more likes, the better. It definitely helps our metrics, and we definitely appreciate you.
Much
The more
love.
likes we get, the more people will start to donating stuff to the show so we can give away. So make sure you hit that like button so we can get some more things donated to the show and get you guys on the spinning wheel of Winnie things.
right.
Yeah, and I hear if you hit that like button, you have a 10% better chance at winning. That's just what I hear. I don't know if it's true or not.
I think it's 12.5% better, I think.
That a better
Oh,
picture,
the
Kyle?
babies in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that picture either because now my head is spinning in circles.
And
love it.
we've got
Thank you, chatters.
It's like,
Z.
we have Z winner.
We've got Z.
He is
Congratulations.
the winner.
The
All
winner.
right.
Z. So Z is actually out there. I haven't seen anybody that's actually named Z. Who's Z? Let me scroll through the super chat. I don't see any Z. Who's Z?
I'm
There
not
was a
sure.
Z.
There was?
Yeah, he's been here a few times.
Okay. See, okay, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Z, you all rock, and Z, keep it going. Okay, I see you. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's really awesome. Hey, so do me a favor, just text me 501-747-3558, and that will go to my cell phone, and let me know your name and your address, and we will get that out to you as soon as possible. Matter of fact, if you guys don't have my number and want to put my number in your phone, you are more than welcome to 501-747-3558. Text me anytime from sunup to sundown, 7 days a week. Let's talk paramotors. I love talking about paramotors. I bet you didn't know that, but it's
Did not
true.
know that.
But it's true. All right, so we are officially in our after show right now. So we'll be continuing to talk about paramotors. There might be some more questions in super chat. So if you do have questions, please post them. Will Fly or Jim or somebody on the panel will ask the questions to Kyle.
Can't forget the thumbnail tonight.
Oh, I know, we missed Josh. We should have done that beforehand.
Oh, yeah. Shoot. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, we could Photoshop them in if we have to.
Yeah, you know what we can always do? We can always go back and take a screenshot of the video with everybody on there.
Yeah, but we can do one. We can do one now with the thumbs up.
We should do one with the
Okay.
thumbs up.
Okay,
All right.
wait. You know me. I take my glasses
Because
off.
You
it's
look
a
good.
thumbnail. We need to see our thumbnails
Thumbnail.
because this is a
That's a
thumbnail.
weird thumbs up though. Like I don't know how to like do that.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Like, there's my thumbnail.
Do I
people.
like?
Just don't bump the mic, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for that. I've never used this one. This is Travis's like supercomputer, so I have no idea.
Oh, my
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Big thumbs up,
One,
please.
2, 3. Oh man, sweet.
I heard the click.
Awesome.
Yep, we got it.
Awesome. We are
Thank
set.
you, Will. You rock, Will.
Yeah, no, you rock.
Absolutely. All
I'm
right.
happy. Now I don't have to message you tomorrow, Will.
Yeah, all
Will,
right.
where is the thumbnail?
Where's
I
it?
You know
need-
how
I need
am
to
with you
teach-
guys.
I need to teach
don't do
Linda.
something. I know where to find you.
Linda, I need to teach you how to look at our video and how to do a screenshot and be able to post your own
Oh, good
thumbnail.
Lord.
Yep.
You want to be
And-
entertained?
And that's
Well,
not
I mean,
taking a
it's
picture.
for
That's
tonight, I'll
not
be
taking a picture of your computer screen. That's actually watching it on your
That's
phone and screenshotting
like
it
I
on your
used
phone.
to. Yeah,
I
hold
know,
on,
I know.
hold
Some of
on,
some of our
hold on.
older videos, she posted a couple of these screenshots that she took a picture of the screen a long time ago.
Like the,
I know, right?
Hey, Kyle, Resurgence PPG wants me to congratulate you on your next edition.
Yeah, yeah. Todd's known about that for a while. I have a
Thanks, Sean.
so
Oh,
I have-
Sean's got to go. See
Oh,
you,
he's gotta
Sean. Have a
take
good
off.
one.
Bye,
Yeah.
Sean.
See you, Sean. Have a good one, buddy.
Good night. Yeah, congratulations, man.
yeah, we have a Grayson, and he'll be 2 in February, and then we have another one that is due November 23rd. So
Oh,
yeah,
Wow, nice.
Thanksgiving, baby.
yeah,
Almost.
it'll be fun. I think.
Yeah. One of these days we can call you PPG Grandpa.
There
Or-
you go.
Yeah, no, let's go like 30 years from now. then we'll
You'll be
be
an
good.
old man with a cane. I'm still gonna do acro, guys. Watch me.
Oh man, I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If I'm like 60, well, 30 years from now, I'd be 60. So yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm in for that. I mean, I look like I'm 12, but
I know I look like I'm 12 too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm actually a grandpa.
Nobody ever guesses my age, and I never tell them my real age either.
So
For-
anyone in your family, Kyle, fly? Like,
Yeah.
have an interest in you teaching them how to fly?
So actually, my dad learned how to fly before I did. So yeah, my dad flies. He only learned about 2 months before I did, and he had 3 flights when he started teaching me how to clip in and actually kite. But yeah, my mom has done one tandem. They'll be back down here in December, of course, to see the baby. But I'm gonna take my mom up on another tandem. I've done some kiting with my mom before, and my sister doesn't really. I mean, she'll go on a tandem, of course, but doesn't really have that interest like I did to fly. And my wife actually still to this day has never been on a tandem.
Oh,
Wow.
I need to talk to her.
Yeah, good
If
luck.
I can do it at my age, she can do it.
I mean, all she has to do is sit down. I would love to take my 34-week pregnant wife tandem. I would love to. It'd be awesome. But
Oh, no,
that's-
not yet. No,
oh no,
don't do that.
let's do it. Because if she goes into labor, I'll just land in the parking lot of the hospital. It'd be just fine.
You know, like,
that
I
would
like
be-
that.
on the roof.
That
Land on
would
the
be
roof
the
like a
best
helicopter.
video.
Yeah,
That would be the best
That'd be a
video.
viral. What is it? Going into labor while flying a paramotor. I feel like that might beat Tucker's McDonald's
That
video.
would. I was
maybe.
just thinking that would beat McDonald's tuck. Yeah, that would beat it. Absolutely, I
Oh,
agree.
Oh
God.
yeah. But yeah, no, she's a ground dweller, and she went skydiving once, and she didn't like the canopy because the guy was doing spirals with the canopy, so she didn't like that feeling. So one day she said one day she will go on a tandem, but it's going to be on her time, and I said that's okay.
Sure, you gotta do it, you know, when you're ready. That's what I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
good
So
deal. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Absolutely, man.
So
So
what
is-
adventures does One Up Paramotors have in store or coming up?
so we actually have a Costa Rica trip in November, and I'm not
Oh.
going on that one because, well, obvious reasons. I'm not going to leave the country when my wife could pop at any time.
Well,
And
how
then
romantic.
yeah, well, you know, I can stay home and fly. But Travis and Allie are going on that trip to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And then next year, we are working on a few. Right now, there are just ideas in the pipeline, but we're definitely going to do Costa Rica again. People love Costa Rica. It's not a super long trip. It's not as expensive as going to Europe or something like that. So a lot of people get interest. We generally fill the Costa Rica trip within 48 hours. It's full, paid for.
Wow. How many people go?
We only take 4. So there's either 2 or 3 of us, and then we take 4. But it is all expenses paid. Like you buy your airfare, pay for the trip, and when you get there, everything is covered: hotel, food, paramotor rental, everything. You just
Awesome.
get there and fly, and we take you on an
Wow.
adventure.
Nice.
John's like, man, where to go?
Yeah, it's terrible. I wouldn't advise anybody does it. It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then one of the other ones that we're working on is potentially going to Italy, and we would fly into probably Milan. No, not Milan. It'd be Rome. And we land in Rome, and then we actually would take you on a tour of the Fly Products factory, so you get to see where your
Oh,
paramotors
cool.
are made. And we would take you to the Viterazzi factory, so you could actually see the engines being built and their insane new facility. I saw their facility earlier this year, their new one in February. I was in Italy. So yeah, this year I was in Italy and France twice. And their new facility is insane. I mean, you know, people, I know there's the whole complaint online of, oh, the motors and the exhausts and whatever. This is like a Ferrari factory. Like
Yeah.
the workers are wearing black gloves. When you see the Vito videos of all the motors lined up on a table, that's actually how it looks. When you get there, that is what it looks like. They're phenomenal people. Mateo is a phenomenal person. But yeah, so we're hoping to do a trip to where we get to go tour those factories. And then also you get to fly in Grotta Mare on the Baltic Sea. So you would fly at their private field called Fermo, and you would get to fly paramotors from that field. And then towards the end of the trip, we haven't decided yet, and this is not a for sure thing, or potentially driving from there to Lake Garda, where we would go free flying off Mount Baldo.
Oh,
Nice.
And is
So-
that your typical size of the 4 people normally? Well, it'd be 4 people plus whoever went to host.
Yeah,
So,
so generally it's you know, Travis and Allie, or me and Allie, or all three of us, or just Travis and I, or whatever the case is. You're gonna get 2 or 3 of us, and then 4 people going. And we do it that way because it's a lot more intimate that way, and for lack of a better term, we're not having to herd cats. You know, we're not, all right, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you, you know, we don't do that. It's like, we're going on an ATV adventure today. And I know it sounds lame. You rent ATVs and you drive around. No, we rent ATVs and we go down some crazy hills in the rain. We stop at the waterfall. We go to the top of the mountain. We have a beer, have some lunch, go back down, fly on the beach, go take a nap, go free fly, go out to dinner, wake up and do it all over again and do something else crazy.
dang, that sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it is exhausting. Actually, and I don't know if Todd's still in the chat, but he was on our very first ever adventure trip. Him and one of our friends, Dave. And after day 2, Todd went, yeah, we need to nap. Like they didn't want to do anything. And, you know, we go on, I mean, in a day, generally speaking, you'll wake up and we'll fly paramotor at 5 a.m. We'll get out there on the inland field, fly paramotor. After that, we'll have some breakfast. You know, if you want to relax for a little bit, we do that. And then we'll go free fly off of the free flying mountain. After that, we'll have some lunch and then we'll go on an ATV tour. Then after that, we will go free fly again, and then we'll go back down to the beach and paramotor at the end of the day. It's kind of up to the clients and, you know, how tired they are, because by the end of day 3, most of them are dragging around going, can we just like have a beer and sit at the pool at our house? Yeah, that's fine too. So yeah, it's this is not a, you know, 5-star, you're hanging. I mean, you have a beautiful Airbnb with a pool and all this other stuff, but you're getting down, you're getting dirty, and you're having a good time. You're riding in the back of a pickup up a mountain. It's only about a 5-minute ride, but you know, we're going up the mountain with our rucksacks and paragliders, and yeah, that's why it's called One Up Adventures. That's literally one of the reasons why it's called that.
So what if you don't know how to free fly?
We will teach you. That is part of the trip.
That's the only way you're gonna get down, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, I could push you off, but it's a fall. So we'll teach you how to fly instead. Yeah, we that's actually several people that have gone on the trip have never free flown in their life, and it is a beginner friendly site. So you're able to go there, and if the thermals are kicking, you can take off and you'll stay up in the air for a little while. And if they're not, it'll just be about a 3 to 4 minute sled ride down the hill. But now that's for a first flight. Hey, that's okay. You know, your first time in the air. And yeah, but yep, we teach you how to free fly if you've never done that.
That's cool.
My first sled ride, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's my first free flight was off of the Magic Mountain in Argania. Don't recommend that for a first one, so don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that mountain, but it sounds pretty high.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
We lost your video, Kyle.
Oh no, there we go.
All right.
He's back.
Well, who has access to the chat to say hello to everybody that's been in the chat? Who can read off names and say hello to everybody, since we had such a good turnout? Probably because Kyle's here.
Hi.
Yeah. You want to do that, Jim?
Totally, Kyle.
Sure, I can go through.
I was looking at the chat right now. I have my second computer, and I've been responding to a couple messages here and there.
Okay.
Oh, that is a good question. James is asking a rough estimate of the cost for a trip like that.
So Costa Rica's cost, it's either $27.50 or $29.50. I don't recall which one. It's under 3,000. And then that covers everything there. So you pay for that trip, or you pay for that fee, and then you buy a plane ticket, and everything else is covered.
And then how about how many days?
Costa Rica is generally, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 4 or 5 full days. Like it's, you know, that doesn't count the day that you get there and the day that you leave. It's in, you know, that in betweener. So, you know, to some people it seems like a lot, but at the end of the day, when you've got paramotor rentals and food and, you know, the ATV tour, all of that stuff is covered in it. So, Yeah, and then of course the only thing we ask that you bring is your glider, so you have your own glider, of course, and then if you have a free flight harness, bring that. And if you don't, generally at least one or two of the other people who come have one, and then we bring some as well, so we always have extra.
Nice.
Sounds like an incredible adventure.
Yeah, I've been to Costa Rica a couple times now.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna have to do. I need to get out and fly in more states, and I need to get out and do more adventures. One of the things I really enjoy doing is cross countries. When I go out and fly, I'm flying for at least 2 hours, if not 2.5, and it's usually between 75 and 100 miles that I fly. I mean, and there's no really destination. You know, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go up and fly, and I just start going. It's like, oh, I'll just go there and check that out. Um, one of my longest ones that I was afraid that I wasn't going to get back because I ended up going to a headwind was this really huge rock quarry. It was a really long distance away. It was making really good time because I had a tailwind. And when I turned around, it was so slow. I had to like skim the trees all the way back just to be able to get back. And I barely made it on fumes. That was a heck of an adventure.
I have a funny story on that one. We were in Costa Rica. So what we do before we do any of these trips, whether it was Costa Rica or Italy, we always go first. We don't even take clients. We just go us, so we can experience it and we know what to expect before we bring people there, because we want to, know the lay of the land. And our contact in Costa Rica, a really good friend of ours, his name's Gigi. And we took off we each had roughly 7 liters of fuel, and we flew for an hour and a half one way and no fuel stops because there's no gas stations. We flew, we landed in the middle of a beach and had a beverage, and we flew back. But the problem is we only had about 2 liters to get back out of 7. So what we did was we took off, and along the beach, it's all palm trees, and we had a nice, probably 10-mile-an-hour onshore wind. So all we did was sword the palm trees at idle for a lot of the time, and we'd add power as needed when you hit the gaps. And right at the end, Gigi and myself and Travis, we all climbed above it's about a 800-foot mountain, and we all looked at it and went, well, we got to make it. We were taking pictures of our fuel on the way back. We're taking pictures of each other's fuel, trying to help each other out. And we all landed with less than a quarter liter, but we made it back. A 3-hour round trip flight, and we made it back.
Fuel conservation to the max.
Smokes,
Yeah, but you know what?
awesome.
It was an adventure. So
Yeah, you
it's
won't
all part
forget
of
it.
And that was a Moster 185?
No, that was actually a beat up old Nitro.
What?
Yeah, we all were flying these janky beat up Nitros that kind of sort of ran. And yeah, we got back, and we definitely had a good night after that, because we didn't think we were going to make it back. We were all shaking in our boots, climbing over that mountain. And once I plateaued over the mountain, I just held full power until I ran out of gas. And because the beach was right there, so I just landed on the beach after I ran out of gas.
Yeah, that's an adventure.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we do it. I mean, we don't do that with clients. We're not going to,
Yeah.
hey, you just ran out of gas. If Todd was still here, I don't know if he is. Oh, no, he's here. Yeah, the trip is exhausting. It was incredible. Yeah, Todd actually ended up having an engine out on the beach on one of the old Nitros because he sucked something, a piece of duct tape that was holding the air box on into the carburetor. But-
you ought to have like some kind of adventure that's like a one-up survival adventure. It's repair a motorist on an island.
Oh, I mean, I can make that happen. I'll just sabotage all the motors. So now the motors that we have down there are more reliable. We have, Moster 185s that are newer and everything. So, our clients aren't having to worry about that. And that's something that was important to us, is to have obviously that reliability. We don't want them going down there with a half an engine, hoping that they can go fly and actually enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds intriguing. How about the pyramids?
We got invited to do the pyramids, and I've heard that it's good. It's a cool thing to do, of course, but I've also heard negative reviews on it. And I guess to me, I'm like, I would much rather fly the Palm in Dubai or some, I want to fly the Christ statue in Brazil. We have some friends down in Brazil that make a phone call. I can go to Brazil tomorrow and go fly the Christ statue. I just need to make that time to get down there. But yeah, I would love to do those kinds of things for sure. But yeah, the pyramids just haven't really been one of the things that I've been like, I want to do that. You know, there's so many other spots that are less explored than that I would love to be one of the pilots that gets to, one of the first that gets to do that. Like I was the first pilot that I know of, or that anybody at BGD knew of, that actually flew that 007 road in France.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I flew right between all the rocks. We were making some promo stuff for the blizzard, and we got up at 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. and a friend of mine and we both drove there, and she recorded it with the drone, and I took off about a mile away and flew between some sketchy mountains, and it's about a 1,000-foot drop right off the side, and I landed right on the road.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was amazing. It was one of those moments that I'll never forget.
Yeah, I bet. That's sweet.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I love hearing about people's adventures while flying paramotors or paragliding. And some of these distances that paragliders can get are just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they far outgo us paramotor people with 5 gallons of gas. You know, I mean, these paragliders are incredible. And they go so far. Now you do both paramotoring and paragliding. What do you like? I know that you like both, but what do you like best about each one?
That was a good way to word that question, because I was like, I can't pick just one. I love paramotor because that's where I started. Like that's kind of my roots in it, and I've been flying paramotor now for a third of my life, actually, when I think about it, and that's crazy to me. You know, for most people, that's not a thing. So paramotoring is just kind of like my roots that I grew up on, and I'm more comfortable on a motor than I am free flying, just because of the natural progression that I had. So I really like that aspect, and I like the freedom. You know, when you're free flying, I can't necessarily go, I want to go see that statue over there or whatever it is. I can't just do that paragliding. I can just take the motor, add some power, and I can cruise over there. But paragliding, so that's what I love about paramotoring, is that I can go anywhere, do anything, and all of my now friends, they all paramotor. And then with free flying, I love the freedom. Again, free flying. I love the ability to go off the mountain, and I can be 50 feet away from you, and I can just yell at you, "Hey, Sean, go do this thing, come over here with me," or whatever. And I love that aspect. I love being able to take off the mountain and 20 feet off and go twisted, and then just stand there and look at you as I'm flying backwards and then turn back around. And the freedom that you have with free flying, in the ability to feel the glider so much more than you do on a paramotor. You feel the glider on a motor, but it's in your hands. But when you're free flying, it's in your body. It's in your hands as well, but it's really in your body. So they're both very different, but I love them both just as much as the other. I'm glad I get to do both, because I don't think I'd be happy with just one. For sure.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Anybody in the panel have any other questions for Kyle? Anything else popped up in the super chat that I may have missed?
Gosh, I think we got them all.
Oh, awesome.
It has been an awesome show, and the chat, I mean, it's been wide open, man. So it's been a pleasure hanging out with you, Kyle.
Oh, for sure. It's good to talk to some of you guys. Of course I've met some of you and talked to some of you, but it's good to actually sit down and chat. Except
Yeah.
that this mic stops working. I don't know what that was about.
I don't know, but it's another adventure.
Yeah,
There you go.
another adventure. Well, one last story then, if you're looking at calling it, when we the name of One Up Adventures, actually, it was very petty the way that it came up. Travis and I went on a ski trip to Colorado. We just went there for fun. That's all we did. Just no paramotoring, just go there and have some fun. And we went to downtown Denver, actually, and we are roaming around, bar hopping, just having a good time. And we stop at this arcade bar, and it was an underground arcade bar, and they had all of the quarter machines, you know, Paperboy, Mario. They had all of these games that you legitimately put quarters in, like everyone actually remembers, not these very modern games. And it was called the One Up Arcade. And we loved it. We had an amazing time. And actually, the initial name for One Up Adventures came from that bar. So we came One Up Adventures, and then this logo on my shirt, Travis's daughter actually drew it on a piece of paper, and we sent it off to a designer, and this is what came out of it. So yeah, named after a bar, and the logo was designed at that time by a 8-year-old.
Hey, it
Cool.
works. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
it's a cool story, you know. It's not just
Yeah.
oh, I thought of a cool name. It was like there's stories behind both of them. So yeah, it was
cool.
really neat.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
most
really
people don't know that, so it was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Now,
Very cool.
now a lot of people are going to know that.
Yeah, and that's okay. You know, it's all good, and that's what's cool about it is we're very, you know, we like to go on adventures, and that's what we always call it. You know, if things are going bad on a trip, what or you know we're doing business, we go to a fly-in, things are going bad, it's an adventure.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right.
Adventure. Everything's adventure.
Everything
Paramotor's
is an adventure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you all survived the hurricanes over there. We're so worried about everybody.
Yeah,
Really praying for you guys.
you know, and it sounds terrible to say this, but we actually didn't lose power at our place. I actually landed the night. I landed at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or something like that. And the hurricane hit that night. We actually had to redirect our flight to a different airport to make it home because my wife was home alone with pregnant wife with the baby was home by herself, and we didn't know what to expect. So yeah, we made it in Lake Wales, and where we are, we just had some, you know, field flooding and, you know, some trees down, just things like that. But
Right.
yeah, it really sucks for the everyone on the West Coast that's in that Fort Myers area and all those areas on the West Coast
Yeah.
that got hit really, really hard. So
Yeah.
It was a bad
I'm
storm.
just glad you guys are all, that you made it all safe and everything. So yeah,
oh yeah,
that's good.
yeah. No, we're all okay here.
Okay.
So,
Well,
any flying experiences, Will or Jim, that you want to talk about and tell us your adventure or anything? Anything happened recently that you might want to share? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I'm just asking.
yeah. Well, I had the privilege of going down and spending 4 days with Brian Waller and the gang, and
I love
Uh,
Brian, by the way.
yeah. He loves you too.
Yeah, he's a
Aw.
great guy.
Yeah. So I had hurt my back, and I really wanted to fly that area.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, and it was bad. I spent the night at Mark McElroy's house, and when I got up that next morning, I was crawling down his hallway. It was that bad, man. And so, anyways, back's getting better. But yeah, he took me up at the very least. I did get to go on a tandem ride with Brian, and did a good job, man. He's a good pilot. Just
Oh,
had
we did give him his tandem exemption, so I'm
Yeah,
glad he did a good job.
no, I mean, you did a good job. That's what I mean. You did a good job. He's a good pilot. And so, yeah, it was impressive. And I'll tell you what, that was my second tandem ride. And even if you're an experienced pilot and haven't taken a tandem ride yet, you got to do it, man, because it's just so neat just to kind of sit back and absorb it all in. You know, you're not having to fly anything. You're not concentrating on anything other than just what's in front of you. And it's just
Right.
so cool.
I would I agree with that, but I would also my experience as the tandem instructor, that is actually the scariest part of my job is when I get in the front seat with that tandem pilot when he's going for his first real tandem. So what we do, we call it role playing, where they pretend I'm a nobody, and the only time I speak up is if it's a safety issue. So, you know, hey, Brian, nice to meet you. I'm Kyle. And he asked me what my experience is. And he sets up the trike. He does everything. And then he takes me on a tandem. And I'll be honest, those are my scariest moments because, you know, I've been training him. I know he can do the tandems because I've already been in the front seat, but I've been talking to him the whole time and I've been doing those things. So yeah, I've been on a lot of tandems. Let me tell you what, I've been on a lot of tandems, and but yeah, it's a cool experience. It's good to hear from somebody else too who went with somebody that we trained, and to hear that feedback, and that's really cool.
He did a fantastic job. And I guess that would be scary. I mean, as a GA flight instructor, I mean, I got the controls right in front of me. If I need to take over, I can. But I guess if you're the tandem instructor and you're the passenger and sitting up front and those toggles aren't in your hands, the throttle's not in your hand, I could see that would be, yeah, placing
Yeah.
your faith in the ability of your own training. So
Yeah, and I mean, I can reach back and I can grab his brakes if I need to. I can actually, I've never done this and I've never had to do it and I don't ever hope to do it. But if I absolutely had to, I could take my helmet, swing back really hard and knock him out.
oh
I've
yeah.
never, if I had to do it, I would, but I've never had to. I've only ever had to say, all right, slow down, slow down, slow down. All right, correct it here and do this and, you know, those kinds of things. But you know, it's a good thing to it's a good thing to do. And when you're training like that, you have a different mindset. When you really start training a lot, and I've trained hundreds and hundreds of students, um, you really have a different respect for the sport and training people. Anytime somebody takes off, if I watch any one of you take off anywhere, it doesn't matter where it is, I'm going to be talking out loud. And all right, lean back. All right, more power. Oh no, should have done that more. Should have, you know, that's just what I do, and that's how I teach. That's how I talk. And people laugh at us because they're like, "What are you doing? Like he already knows how to fly." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I just that's my instructor coming out, and I'm so used to doing it, so I just do it."
Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah, you know, when Brian first got that retractor trike, I don't think he foot launched since he got the retractor trike. When he learned how to trike, that was it. He just loved it. Have you seen Brian foot launch since he got that retractor trike?
I want to say he's done it once.
Once. That's it. After all that
Well, I
time.
mean, once that I'm pretty sure. But you know, for the first time, I saw Brian coming into land. For the first time, I actually saw him extend the retractable part or whatever to make it a trike. That thing's pretty slick.
Yeah.
I went with the trike. I mean, I'd be tempted to try that, you know.
I think once you start triking, or at least you have a bolt-on trike, once you have that opportunity, foot launch, other than, you know, sometimes you just have to foot launch, man, triking is just so incredibly fun. And anybody that's still in the super chat, let us know. Do you trike when you get the chance? Have you trike? Do you want to trike? Some things we just want to know. I mean, I think triking is great, but I foot launch a lot. But I do love to trike. How about you, Kyle?
Yeah. So
You're
triking, I would.
staticky again. You're staticky again.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Hang on. Give me like 5 seconds, and it won't be staticky anymore.
Did that work?
Say
Did it
something.
work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I just unplug it and plug it back in. I don't know if it's
That's-
something in the system or what. I just unplugged the USB cable. So yeah, with triking, I would say 5 years ago, triking was known as the old man grandpa. You know, that was kind of the stigma behind it. And now it's not that. I love the trike. One of my favorite combinations is a medium size, so like a 25 A wing on the Vertigo, the Fly Products Vertigo, because you can barrel roll that trike if you really want to. It is so much fun. I love taking the trike, inflating it, and what I actually do when I train students, for example, if we're on the tandem trike, which that's what we use, is the Fly Products Zenit with the Cosmos 300. I'll put my passenger in the front, of course, and I'll be in the back seat. I'll inflate the glider, and then I'll give them the brakes, and then they'll taxi. And once I'll actually be on the runway. We have an AV radio hooked up so I can hear traffic live if I need to. And then we get to the end of the runway, and rather than bringing the glider down and having to haul the thing back in a truck and take the time, I'll grab the brakes from them and I'll whip a 180 and I'll hit the taxiway and go downwind, and I'll taxi it all the way downwind. And then I'll get to the end of the runway, make another 180-degree turn, give them the brakes back, and then they can taxi by themselves. And I love triking. It's just fun. It's so much fun to manipulate the glider and to do those kinds of things. So yeah, there's one video that we have, and I actually helied the small trike. So I took my acro wing and the small mini Foxy trike, and I did a helicopter on it.
Really?
Just because it was fun. Yeah. Had to do it for the video.
But don't practice
Things
at
we
home.
have to do for video.
Yeah, the things we have to do for videos.
Yeah. That's awesome. Man, you are just so full of stories, so full of information, so full of fun and energy. Man, I wish I would have been 21 years old and learned about, paramotors and stuff. But 50, learn at 50 something, hey, no problem. I still got lots of life to live, and and the technology is so good now. 10 years
Yeah.
ago, tell us about the technology that you had to learn on. I'm sure there's some people out there that that already know this, but what are some of the old technology and the difference between then and now?
I honestly, like, I was on a mini plane top 80. That was my very first engine. That was my dad's first engine. He was roughly 200 pounds on a 30-meter A wing, and that's what I took my first flight on. But I mean, the technology back then, like the Moster was out, but 10 years ago, oh yeah, so actually it was out 10 years ago, but it was like the very first Moster, and even now, like the Moster's good, but back then it was not as good, obviously, as it is now. And even glider technology, with how easily they come up and how much better they fly, and the safety characteristics are astounding, and how much they've changed. So, I mean, like you said, you wish you would have learned when you're 20. I wish I would have learned when I was 14. I wish 7 would started kiting when I was 7 and been in the air by the time I was 12, kind of thing. But yeah, the technology has made leaps and bounds. It's funny that you bring that up. I just taught a class this morning on wing design to our students, and I talk about the technology and how in the last 10 years it's really became this so much better, and the gliders inflate better and they fly better and they're safer, and um, yeah, it's crazy how much it's changed. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, we met up with Fly Wyatt over at Bad Apples last year. I think he started with 7, 8, 9 years old.
Yep.
He's flying a little wing, and I think he was a single skin wing that he was flying. Amazing, at 10 years old, being able to fly and do this stuff. I can't even imagine his flying career that he's going to have when he reaches my grandpa age.
Yeah, I would love, like Eric Dufour, he's been flying since it was pretty much invented. And he was one of the guys that he was one of my mentors when I started, learning, and he actually gave me my instructor rating years ago. And even now, I'm gonna see Eric next week, and Elizabeth, and we shoot we talk to each other, and he asked me my opinion on things, and I asked him his, and he asked me how does this maneuver like feel, and whatever, because maybe he's never done it, and it's really cool to see how it comes all back around. The guy who gave me my instructor rating when I was becoming an instructor and learning, how he asked me for my advice. He's still, I would call him the GOAT. He's like 65 now. And my vivid memory of Eric Dufour was at my very first Bad Apples. He took my free ride 15, took off, and foot dragged, didn't leave the ground. He foot dragged, turned to the right, and dragged my wingtip on the ground, and then took off at 63 years old at that time. It was
Yeah.
insane. And I'm like, you're 63, like the guy can still rip it. And he lands and he just does this, and he's like, yeah, that's my drug. That's what I needed. And it is so cool to see these guys that are, so good at what they do, and the passion that he still has even at his age. And, he's one of the best instructors there ever was or will be. No question in my mind.
Hey, Todd wants to know if he can barrel roll his Eco 2 Light on a 38 meter Cyclone with you up front.
I don't even know how to answer that. I don't even know how to answer that. I don't know if it's load tested to that.
That Eco 2 Light is, man, that's sharp.
Yeah, actually, one of our students, well, our past student now, his wife is the one training. He just bought an Eco 2 with a Rotax 582 on it. And let me tell you, wow, you could
Yeah.
fly a free ride 12 on that tandem if you wanted with how much power it has.
Really?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy, but it's awesome. And it's got an excessive amount of power. And yeah, no, it's really cool. Like you said, the technology we were talking about earlier, it has come a long way in what
Good.
you're able to actually do.
And
What,
those Rotex, those are actual airy. Uh, those are actually designed for flying.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Rotex is for
yeah,
ultralights.
yeah, they are really good. They don't cut out like our Monsters do. That's for sure.
Well, some of them do actually, because they'll be two strokes just like ours. You can get a four stroke, but they're two strokes as well. And they fail. Just had one at the airport here the other day, failed.
Really.
Yeah, guy fell out of the air.
well, it's
Okay.
got, I'm reading up on it now. It's got two carburetors on the
Yep.
Eco 2
Mhm.
It's
light.
got 50 horsepower, I think, with a Rotex on it.
Yeah, man, that's sweet.
So there is a difference. So he got the Rotax 582, and they also have the RMZ, and the RMZ is made in Russia. So you know, not to get into politics, but with the way that the world is going, parts are very hard to get, and so are those engines. So he opted for the Rotax, which is quite a bit, almost double the price because of the fact that it's name brand Rotax engine. The RMZ 500 is essentially a clone of it, but it works just as good. It's just hard to get right now.
Hmm. Can you, are the parts at all interchangeable?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's like, you know, it's kind of like getting a like a Lincoln Navigator and a Ford Expedition.
Yeah.
They're almost identical. They just have different names. So some parts are interchangeable, some aren't. It just depends on which part you're looking for.
Interesting. Now, you were talking earlier about flying electric. Have you tried that SP-140 from Open PPG?
I have put it on my back, and I've ran it up, but I have not gotten to fly it. We weren't able to fly it that day. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said earlier, it is one of those things where it's phenomenal. I
Mhm.
just, you know, it's all about that battery technology. Motor power under 60 pounds, full power for an hour. Give me
That's what they
that.
got right now. The SP-140, I flew it. It has actually a little over an hour, and it actually feels like a 220, and it's more powerful than the Moster. So when I put it in sport mode, it actually lifted me like it was a 220 and much more powerful than the Moster.
Yeah, but not
Yeah.
full power for an hour, right?
Yeah, so that full power aspect,
So
that's what I'm looking for, is
well, you're
that.
looking for full power for the hour. Okay.
Yeah, because like, you know, I cruise, but the way that I fly, you know, if you're just if you're level flight might be great, but I'm always climbing and descending and going here and going there. You know, that's how I like to fly. I'm an aggressive flyer, you know. I mean, that's just my nature and how I fly. That's what I like to do. I've calmed down a little bit, but at the same time, I still push it. I still have a good time.
I would like for you to fly one because you being, 125 pounds and me being, 100 pounds heavier than you, I bet that you might be able to soak up a lot more power out of that and maybe make it go at least an hour. I mean, it'd be very interesting to see what you could do with it.
Yeah, well, and that's just the thing, you know, I would love to. And I think the other part of it too is for the SP, for example, don't, it needs to be able to mount on any frame. There needs to be able to have a way that you can buy the kit essentially and mount
Mhm.
it on a fly products, a Mac Fly, a Parajet. And if you could do that and then have all of those things that I mentioned on there, I I wouldn't not buy one. You know, I mean, I don't have to put fuel in it. I don't have to tune it.
Mhm.
I turn on the power and I go.
I think they come
And
in the kit right now for 3,500 on Open PPG.
okay, yeah, I would love to be able to work on one. You know, I mean, I tested the Tornado, and I think I put, it was 13 or 14 pistons through that Tornado when I was prototyping, the only one that existed at the time.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I loved it. I got to beat the crap out of it, and Man, it was a good time. I did get sick of replacing pistons after a while, but it's all part of the testing stage. Same thing with the gliders. When I'm prototyping a glider that has no name, or it has a name, but it's version 1, and I'm trying to fly it and figure out what works, what doesn't, what does it need, what needs to be adjusted. It's all part of the process.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting. This whole show has been interesting, and here we are rolling up on 2 hours.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I can't believe it.
2 hours, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, just nonstop. We're talking paramotors, and it's just nonstop stories and interesting things. And that's what I like about, talking about paramotors. I mean, how many people have you actually talked with on the phone or otherwise about paramotors? And, an hour goes by, and you're like, oh crap, an hour went by already. And we talked about what? Paramotors? Happens all the time.
Yeah. You remember we had a conversation
Mhm.
early on, Sean, and I'm like telling you, I'm not a big talker. I don't really like talking on the phone and stuff like that. And when we finished, it was like 2 hours, and
Yeah, it's like, man, this could have been a podcast, us talking on the
yeah.
phone. Like
Say,
everybody I
Kyle,
talk to, it seems like we talk for hours, hours and hours. And if we were recording it, it would have been a great podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
Kyle,
Wait.
being where you are, sorry guys, being where you are, Lakeland, Lake Wales area, there's a lot of Canadians down there. Do you ever train Canadians?
I'll be honest, we don't. A lot of the people that we get, they're everywhere. Now the issue with Canadians, and this isn't like their fault or anything, but they actually need to be certified, and their aircraft has to have an N number on it in order to fly in
Oh.
Canada. So training with us gets them the knowledge of how to fly, but it doesn't get them their actual certification. So that's part of it. So yeah, no, we generally don't get a lot of those. We get guys from all over the country though, that every end, Washington to Maine to California, and anywhere in between. And yeah, they come to us, and we've worked hard to get that good reputation. I mean, we, like you said earlier, people, well, where do you go for tandem training? I think most people just say one place, and that's here. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool thing. But yeah, we don't train too many Canadians.
Good to know.
Unless you want to just cross the border and go fly for a while and then go back.
Actually,
Yeah.
if you were to do that, if you bring your paramotor, like your foot launch unit, to Canada, you actually have to N number it. Legally speaking, you have to N number it, and then when you bring it back, it's not even legal in the US because it was registered in a different country.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would suggest borrowing somebody's paramotor if you go to Canada.
I kind of meant Jim coming from Canada over here, learning how to fly, flying here, and then going back. But
That's fair.
just flying with our motors over here. Which
Yeah,
reminds me, Jim. Anytime that you want to come over here, you can use any of the students' gear. Just come over here and fly.
Sounds good. Sounds good. No, if I come down, which I plan on doing once in January, then I'll be bringing my own gear. I can't afford to not fly every morning that's available to me.
That's true. That's true. Oh, that reminds me, Kyle. Okay, here's something interesting. When you first learn to fly, you count flights. Then after that, you count hours. Then after that, you count 100-hour maintenances. After you count 100-hour maintenances, what do you count? I mean, what do you say? It's like, well, I just been flying for years.
That's hilarious. So I had a logbook. I
Mhm.
bought a logbook off of Amazon for $8. I counted my first 3 flights, and after that, couldn't tell you.
Yep.
Hours? What do you mean hours? 100-hour maintenance? What is that? If it's running, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep.
The only thing I do to my motor, if it needs it, is I'll change the bushing when it looks worn down and it's to a point to where, it's like, that's a worn down bushing in my motor. I'll replace it. Other than that, I don't keep track of hours. I don't keep track of nothing. If I had to guess, I have several thousand flights easily. I mean, between what I have in one session, I counted over 50 touch and goes that I did in one session. not that that counts or anything, but yeah, I just kind of stopped. It wasn't an important thing to me. You know, it was
Right.
kind of like the acro thing. I didn't care, you know, about what others thought. I don't care about my hours. I do it because I love it. That's it. And I wish more people would do that, because you get a lot of guys that are, you know, it's all about the hours and the maintenance and that kind of thing. And if my engine's gonna die, it's gonna die. I'm gonna land, and well, it's an adventure
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Yep. I was first started counting my flights, and I counted my hours that I flew, and then I started counting my 100-hour maintenances, and then I lost track, and I'm like, I have no freaking clue. And I think that's probably what a lot of people do. They get up to that certain point, they're like, I have no clue how many times I've flown.
Well, then you get, I guess from there, you would start counting wives because you're flying so much, right? I mean, you're going to go through marriages.
Well, that's the good thing, is that we have all determined that the people that we are with are perfectly fine with whatever we're doing. You know, I was training on my anniversary, you know, I was training on, you know, my wife's birthday, you know. Kyle said some things too about
You got
that.
a real
I mean-
understanding wife, dude.
I mean, I sent my wife the link to this show, and you know, she said, "Oh, you're in a dark room." That's what she said to me on my text. And yeah, I flew before I met my wife, so she kind of already knew the flying aspect. You know, she's never said, you know, she doesn't say be safe. She doesn't say, you know, come home tonight. She didn't say those things because we have a mutual understanding that, you know, my family is the number one priority. You know, I love flying, of course, but she also understands, you know, I got to work.
Yeah.
And but it's hard for some, because it's like, but your work is you go fly and teach people to fly, like that's a job. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, well, you know, but she understands, and it is my full-time job. So it takes a special person to be okay with me going to France for 10 days with a pregnant wife and a almost 2-year-old at home, and to just say, yeah, bye, just bring me some snacks when you come home.
Yeah, you're in a little bit different situation. Our kids are out of the house, and we have dogs. So
I have 4 of those too.
holy smokes, dude.
Yeah, I got 4 dogs, a almost 2-year-old, and a baby on the way, and my wife at home. And
And you
we're
said-
moving right now. Our house is a mess because we're
Wow.
moving. So yeah,
Wow.
Wow. Now, she doesn't fly, right? And she has no
She does
desire
not.
to fly. All right,
Correct.
mine too. My wife has no desire to fly, doesn't want to fly. And we have a really good understanding. It's like, you know, it's like I fly and this is what I want to do, and I'm not going to ask you to go do it. And she won't ask me to go to book club,
Book
That's
club?
fair.
right? So I don't have to worry
So
about
would you rather fly or go to book club?
Well, what do you think?
I'm just asking, you know, just
Right.
in case, you know, we didn't understand that.
Here's my answer. Warning,
Yeah, okay, all right,
TikTok-
that's fair. Hey, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
Not that exact one, but it says that on it.
Yeah, warning may talk about paramotors, and it's true. It's like, now I will go to book club if it's about PPG Bible or
Paramotor.
something from, yeah. If you got a book club with Jeff Goins or somebody that's writing something about paramotors, I will go to that book club. But my wife won't, so there we go.
That's for I'll go to the book club with you. It'll be a good time.
It'll be awesome. Holy smokes, guys. It is after 9 p.m. Central Time
It's
here.
10:02 here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. How
10:02
are
real
you?
time.
Hey, it's okay. I just gotta be at the airport at 7 o'clock in the morning to train tomorrow. It's all good.
Oh, man.
Wow. I tell you, morning comes really early, and I really so appreciate you, Kyle, jumping on the show and talking
course.
for a couple of hours.
Hey, if I
And-
get 4 hours of sleep, that's all I need.
Oh, to be that young.
Yeah,
Grandpa
right.
needs
4
a lot
hours.
more. See,
Oh,
4
be a
hours will
cranky
not do this at all. This takes 8+ hours to do this. And it still is not that good.
I was gonna say, I think you need 10.
I need a lot more than that, than 8. Absolutely. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Of
Thank you
course.
so much for the
Thank you.
information. Thank you so much for the shirt giveaway. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
You guys on the panel, Jim, Linda, Will, I don't know what I would do without you. And of course, Josh, that had to go because it was his anniversary today. There's another one. It's his anniversary, and he's talking to people about paramotors on a computer, and his wife's like, no problem. on our
It
anniversary.
looks like
Gotta love it.
Good for
David-
them.
David Proctor was hanging with us tonight, and he's actually going to be our guest in November,
Mm.
November 28th.
Yeah, I saw David here in the background. He just is staying in the background and listening, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No problem. That's what we say. It's like just
I'll give you the heads
Be
up
here.
on that. Yes, yeah, I'm pretty excited.
I know. Quick shout out to Walter from Australia tomorrow.
Oh, Walter.
Do
And
that,
Brian Tupper joined us late. Travis DuPont. What's up, man?
right?
awesome. Do we go roll through all the people that were here? Cliff V, Walter from
You would
Australia,
I'm here.
I
Tony
think we did. Jim got
Marzano,
everything.
Resurgence, Wade Collins, Kyle Mooney. Hey, Kyle Mooney's in the super chat. I know
No
him.
way.
Ah, I know him.
Yeah.
The Chad is in the super chat also. Of course, Resurgence PPG. And once again, don't forget, go to resurgencepppg.com. Flying Flamingo Jade. They do an
Hey,
all
girl.
girls podcast on Wednesday. Go to paramotorgirl.com. Paramotor NC's here. Jack Wallace. Scrolling up here, Phil. I think he said something. Sean, make it out to ATL if you can before the next bad apples. Man, that would be absolutely awesome. Remember, guys, you can text me 501-747-3558 anytime that you want to. James is in the house. Paramotor NC again. Flying Flamingo Jade. Lots of talking. Fly, baby, fly.
Yay.
PPG, what's up, my friend? And the chat just keeps on going. Bonnie Friends is in the house. What's up? What's up? So many people. Hot Buttered Productions. This has been a really good Deweese Milstead, I see too. Is that
Oh, my girl.
555s? 555s is in the house. So many people. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the likes. We got up to 34 likes so far. We get more people listening to our podcast at over 5,000 downloads a month on our audio. So thank you everyone that listens to us on our audio. Once again, thank you, Kyle Mooney, for being on the show. You are absolutely amazing. Jim, thank you for supporting us. Linda, thank you for booking people all the way out until almost December. Will Fly, you got a show tomorrow, right, with Shane? Is that still going on?
Yes, sir. You can go to ppgshane.com and 8 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with us. Matter of fact, that's what the show's called. Paramotor Hangout.
Awesome. Now's your time, Kyle, to let us know all of your .coms, how to get up with you, and anything, any shout out to anybody, of course. This is all you, buddy.
Yeah, no, for sure. OneUpAdventures.com, FlyProductsUSA.com, ParamotorProps.com. You know, it's always cool to come on these shows and talk to people. Of course, you know, like right now it's I text my dad the show link and he was watching it. Text my wife, she was watching it, and of course I've been
Oh, good.
messaging Todd on Facebook. You know, we chat back and forth, we talk all the time. But no, we really appreciate it. And honestly, one thing I just want everybody to know, and you know, even those that come and rewatch it and watch till the end, you know, keep an eye out for your fellow flyers. You know, we have a lot of people out there that that need that guidance, that need to stay safe. So, you know, business is one thing, but at the end of the day, we all love what we do and we all love to fly. So, you know, if you see your friend or your buddy or that guy out there making bad choices and things like that, just don't be afraid to jump on him and tell him what needs to be said. You know, don't be afraid to make an enemy because you're telling somebody to be safe. It's okay. You know, I wish more people would do that. So there's been too many accidents, and I want everybody to be safe and continue to fly. And 15 years from now, you know, somebody says that. I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, that one you know, I have one person come up to me so far and say, "Hey, that video you made that one time made me make better choices." So it's good to see that, and that's kind of my message I want to get out. I could throw business out there all day, but at the end of the day, fly safe and keep everybody else around you safe and have a good time.
That's right.
Outstanding.
advice.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
You're welcome back anytime, Kyle.
Oh, much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So you
can,
want to
yeah.
hang out on Monday? Come on in,
Yeah.
jump in the chat, jump here, jump there. whatever,
Yeah, join us
Happy to
in,
have
join
you.
us on the panel. You're more than welcome to be a panel member. Well, what everybody that's a panel member has been, on the show as a guest, and you're more than welcome to jump on and be a panel member. If you
Awesome.
wanna, you don't have to, but if you wanna.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, when I get free time and then when that second baby comes, I don't even know if I have time to fly.
Yeah, right.
Don't know how you are going to do this. I really don't.
I got a very understanding wife.
That is incredible. That
Yeah.
is incredible.
No doubt. You
Yeah, I
gotta
don't know
keep
where
up.
I found her, but you got to go find one there. Everyone needs to find one where I found her because it works out great.
Awesome.
That's
Well,
good.
Kyle, thank you
matter.
so much again, buddy, for
Yes.
jumping on the show and being our guest. You're welcome back anytime. I'll definitely get up with you about that paramotor prop things we talked about earlier today.
For sure.
And thank you for being a guest. We appreciate you, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Kyle.
Absolutely.
Safe.
Thank you.
Good night, Kyle.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Jim, thank you for being a sponsor on the show. Thank you for everything you do, buddy. I definitely appreciate you. If you want to get your 5 minutes of fame and tell us all about your .coms and how we can get up with you, bud.
careppg.com is where you can see my paramotor shenanigans, and carepp.com is where you can connect with me for whatever you want printing related. And I'd love to help you out in that regard.
Kyle, you can leave anytime, buddy, or stay with us. You're more than welcome to hang with us as we say goodbye, everybody, or you can peace out. It's up to you,
I
buddy.
got you. I'm gonna peace out. I gotta get home and go to bed because I got to train. And
Yes.
also, Todd messaged me and told me to say hi to everybody and also go donate
Hi,
to Resurgence,
Todd.
guys. I love Todd, and I give him a lot of crap, but I love Todd. So
Yeah.
help the guy out.
We won't tell him you said that, man. Don't worry.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
he
it's
probably heard it.
Super, super private. No one will hear us. This is just between us.
All
right,
right. Have
I
a good
gotta
night,
say-
guys. I appreciate it.
All
Good
right.
night, man.
Night, Kyle.
Night.
Gotta say, see you, Todd, on paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday night.
Of
He's always
course.
in the chat.
Paragliding talk.
My voice is getting all sick.
So, Jim, what does PP stand for?
Printing, publishing.
See, every time that I said I got to go PP, now I understand it's printing and publishing. Gee, see, I wish I would have known that when I was a kid.
It's also clear now.
It's clear. So tell us more about what you can do for us and what you can do for people out there that need something printed.
Okay, let's see.
You got decals.
Tell you what, I had a story where I was going to the States and I got stopped, the border crossing. The guy, he wanted to check my passport and he wanted to know what I did. You know how they grill you for hours about all these different little tidbits? And so finally he's like, so you're a printer? I'm like, yep. He's like, so what do you print? I'm like, I put ink on paper. And he's like, okay, but what do you print? I put ink on paper. Anyway, the conversation didn't go very well because I could never think what I printed. It's all ink on paper.
Well,
Just
you always say
all
that you
different
can print.
shapes.
You can print checks, and I'm like, printing checks.
Ink on paper.
So, print me a check that says, $1 million, and I'll take that one, bud.
That sounds good.
What about tattoos? Those little removable tattoo or those?
Yeah, do you do those? I mean, can you do like the clear prop TV tattoos?
I was thinking more along the lines of a will fly tattoo since I came up with the question. Just saying.
Those are great questions. I have never tried to do that or even done any research on it. So I'll look into it for you.
Yeah, Jade from Paramotor Girl, she had those at one of the fly-ins. She was giving those away, the little, paramotor people that were tattoos, temporary tattoos.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
check
I don't
that
see
out.
why not. It's just
So
ink on
now you do
paper.
ink on paper on skin.
And then vinyl stickers.
Yes, definitely do vinyl stickers, do printed vinyl. Yeah, door hangers, business cards, What else?
So when
Jeepers.
they go to carepp.com, all they have to do is say that PPG Grandpa sent you, and you will hook them up. Yes?
You betcha.
Awesome.
Get them a discount too, just for the fun of it.
I love that. So if you need something done, if you need stickers made, go to carepp.com. Tell them that PPG Grandpa sent you, and Jim will hook you up with some maple syrup smelling stickers.
Sounds good.
Do you do scratch and sniff? I mean, that's something else. Scratch and stiff.
You
Scratch
picked the
and
things
sniff,
I've never looked into, but
Man, you need to look into this stuff.
yeah, well, it's all ink and it's just a process. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's just some kind of a fragrance added in order to make it smell that way, right? Just
I
gotta get
don't
the right
know.
stuff.
I'm not a printer, but you can
Yeah.
hook us up. Tell us next week. Who do we have next week, Linda?
We have Avery.
Avery, that's right. So he's going to be
Yeah, that's
talking
gonna
about
be a good one.
he's going to be talking about those Avery Express that you get from China. They are the really small paramotors. I mean, the really small ones that people can fly if you're about $1.25. That's something Kyle should try. Is flying one of those Avery Expresses. He's small enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
125
That's
pounds.
AliExpress, right? Alibaba.
Is it AliExpress?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Avery, you know, it's Avery. Oh yeah, AliExpress, not Avery. AliExpress. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. See, it's late.
It's
Grandpa's
Avery's own
tired.
company.
Yeah, Grandpa's tired. One too many gummies. No, I'm still on this NyQuil stuff. Matter of fact, I found the NyQuil honey. It tastes like honey. I swear to God, I could put this on my biscuits and be like I'm honeying my biscuits. It's crazy. It's
Is
amazing.
that like Jack Daniels honey?
Don't do this, kids at home.
I know.
Oh my
Throw
gosh.
that out there.
I need.
Please tell me you don't cook the chicken in it.
I've heard about people cooking chicken in NyQuil.
Please tell me you don't do that.
I
Don't do
have
that.
not. I have. Yeah. So it's apparently
Yes.
one of those things
You're
that are
out
out
of the
there,
loop, Will.
like the Tod Pod,
TikTok.
like the Tod Pods eating those things, and people are cooking chicken in NyQuil.
Yeah, it's a
Well, as
I
long
never-
as they don't put
TikTok
turkey
thing.
with it, because
Wait.
holy crow, you'd be out like a light.
I didn't think about the NyQuil honey that they're using. I didn't even think about that. I normally have the regular NyQuil, but NyQuil honey and chicken. They said NyQuil put out a statement saying that when you cook the NyQuil, you change it chemically, and it can actually be a carcinogen. So
Wow.
yeah, so
That's why, of course, there's-
don't cook your NyQuil. Don't do that.
that freaks me out. Especially if you think about it, you have little ones there or you have pets, it's just
People
like,
are doing some weird things. It started with that damn cinnamon challenge way back in the day. Where you eat like a thing of cinnamon. You put a spoonful of powdered cinnamon in your mouth and try to swallow it. People would go and breathe it all in their lungs.
Ugh.
Oh, I tell you, the things that people
Don't
are
do this
doing
at home,
online
kids.
for views. My goodness. Get a paramotor and go fly and stop getting these weird views and stuff.
and here we thought like doing the helium balloon thing was, that
That's
was
still
like,
fun.
oh,
That is
risky,
fun.
right?
It's still fun.
Yeah.
Yes, doing the helium balloon.
That's still
And now
fun.
look at everybody's doing.
That's,
That's clean fun.
yeah,
How
it
much
is.
helium would it take for you to rise off the ground?
Let's find out on our next podcast next
Yeah.
Monday. Oh my goodness. Speaking about podcast, we have a podcast tomorrow. Tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Will.
Yeah, it's just it's Mark McElroy, Shane, and myself. We get together 8 p.m. Eastern, talk about paramotors and whatever else crosses our minds. Real kind of laid back show. So yeah, come hang out with us. ppgshane.com.
pgshane.com. Also, on Wednesday night we have it used to be all girl podcast from Flying Flamingo Jade. You can find her at paramotorgirl.com. She's added in numerous people, including a astronaut. Which reminds me, Linda, you got to book an astronaut. We can't have Jade having the astronaut. We need it. Oh my gosh. And then on Thursday,
Oh, Thursday. Funny you should ask. We got paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday night with your host, my awesomest son, Robert Michael. So y'all gotta come hang out with us on Thursday night. We always have a good time. Always got great shows, all that stuff.
absolutely.
I look forward to that. And then, you can watch Robert when he mutes me during the show when I get in the Zoom because I get so excited about things and he's like, Mom, I'm gonna have to mute you. It happens. So sometimes I tell him, I promise I'll behave. Really, I will. But you know how far that goes. So,
Exactly.
but he loves me, so
So he
It's all
mutes
fine.
you nicely. I like that. That's good. Thank you for muting me nicely. Well, guys, thank you again so much for being on the show and helping me in the background. Will Fly, thank you so much for doing the spinning wheel of Winnie things. Linda, thank you so much for booking people all the way up to December already. And Jim, thank you so much for helping us with stickers and all the things that you do for us and the sport. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for watching the show. This is Sean
Yes, thank
Simons,
you.
PPG Grandpa. You can find me at ppggrandpa.com or iflyparamotors.com. Matter of fact, search for PPG Grandpa Paramotor Podcast, and we are out there everywhere on your favorite podcasting app. Like I said, more people listen to us than watch us, probably because this right here is nothing really worth looking at. So why watch me? When you can listen to me.
Sean, don't go away like when you turn the live off because I just got to ask you guys something before we all leave.
Okay, that sounds good. All
Don't
right.
leave me. Sometimes I have a question, then you're like, okay, good night. Like,
All right, so we're gonna kill the live show. Thank you again, guys. We appreciate you, and
you,
we're gonna go
chatters.
to a private show, which apparently David is still listening to, so he's gonna listen to the private show too. Lucky you.
Yep, you're welcome to hang with us next
Good night, guys.
All right. So we are going to go bye-bye with the recording. So bye-bye with the recording.